There was a game called Croc.
Croc me, baby.
Is it just Crocodile Dentist, but in 3D?
Amadeus. Croc and Croc 2.
Mozart reference. Deep cuts.
Croc.
Was
Croc
rocking that on
and
the way
Croc
over.
2.
When I was saying it, I was thinking of the...
Gex, the James Bond gecko.
No.
James Pond Jr.
Oh, James Pond is the James Bond.
The Penyak Lakes.
Bloodhound Gang.
Bloodhound Gang. I was thinking of their version of that song.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about motherfucking.
Whoa. Oh, we're not live. Oh, we're not. The show hasn't started. We're good. We're good. We're good.
We're not allowed to say Falco on the show, okay?
Mother
we don't
Falco,
talk like that
Falco.
as a member of Team Star Fox. All right. We are going to start now. 3, 2, 1.
We got that out of our system.
Go Nintendo podcast, episode 875, the Eiscue podcast?
Ice Cube.
Eiscue podcast?
Thank you.
MomBrain, you want to tell us about Eiscue?
They got Pokemon out there this big.
I want to see a picture.
Ooh, Eiscue. On hot days, this Pokemon, I'm sorry, let me start again. On hot days, these Pokemon press their ice cube heads together and pass the time cooling each other down. They're 4 feet tall. They're just under 200 pounds, male and female. And the category is, of course, penguin.
Mm-hmm.
Are they running out of ideas?
Oh,
this was 875.
This was like 10 years ago.
Did they run out of ideas 10 years ago?
A long
Abilities
time ago.
include Ice Face. The Pokemon's Ice
That's
Head.
racist.
I don't know how you could say they lost ideas.
The
Ice
Pokemon's
Face.
Ice Head can take a physical attack as a substitute, but the attack also changes the
Ice
Pokemon's appearance.
Thanks,
the ice
MomBrain.
will be restored when it snows.
Thanks, MomBrain. Now, which is more evident of running out of ideas? A penguin with an ice cube head or a literal ice cream cone that is a Pokemon?
What's that one called?
Screamo. I don't
Ice
know.
cream.
Depends on what it's called. It's called Screamo.
His name is Ice
And
Cream.
they're
His special
still
move is
chock full
Ice
of
Cream.
ideas.
Somebody in the Discord will know. It'll be like creamy or something like that. I don't know.
Talk about lazy.
MomBrain is here.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us, MomBrain. Kirby is here.
Hey, everybody.
Deux is here.
Ooh.
And we are blessed with R-Type today. Thanks for joining us, R-Type.
Glad to be here. Thank you very much.
It is an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure.
Someone can look up the last show I was on.
Vanillite is the name of the ice cream Pokemon. Vanillite.
Ooh, Giant Reggie's.
There it is.
So they just added ice to
Kirby
vanilla.
and Budget
So yes,
Kirby.
they've run out of.
Thank you, Red Souza. I appreciate the quick response. Hello, Red Souza and Anastasia Beaverhausen and Malik Halo and Giant Reggie and Mind Without a Cause and Highly and Tom and Sneaker Hacks and Ice Stillbird and Backseat Studios and Drake and it's bumping and I can't get it. Zikomudo and Gecko Kitsune and William George and whoever else I didn't see in here. Wolfric, thanks for joining us today, guys. I appreciate it. Hi, Roth. Oh, very nice, Roth. I appreciate it. Also, of course, hello to my best friend from college days, Josh Grobot. How you doing, my friend?
Star of the show.
Star of the show, baby. Good to see you as always. Hope you're doing well.
A big hello to my fans.
And speaking of fans, even though there may be some bad blood from time to time, George is here. George, how are you doing?
Buongiorno. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Good to see you too, George. I appreciate you being here, even though I know the relationship between you and Josh can be a bit tumultuous from time to time.
No, not at all.
We walk a fine line here between friends and enemies.
All right, everybody. Guys, I'm going to jinx the show right off the bat.
Here we
Jinx is a
go.
great Pokemon.
I think we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about and a lot of stuff that'll get me riled up, which I think is good for content. So usually when I'm excited about a show, it falls apart. We'll see what happened. Hi, Storbus Corbin. Good to see you. There are multiple topics. I want to say almost all of them are game related before we even get
Nice.
to the news.
Get
This
riled.
podcast?
But the first one is not game related. Guys, a round of applause for MomBrain, virtually and locally. She saved a baby bird's life today.
Hey.
She saved a baby bird's life. I should add potentially, I guess. I was out on my walk. Did I say hi to Anastasia? Hi, Anastasia.
Trying to
Beaverhausen.
kill a bird.
I was out on a walk, and as I'm getting closer to a lump on the sidewalk, perfect. I realized this lump is not a lump; it's a baby bird, and I was like, "Oh, this poor bird fell out of the tree and it's dead." And then I looked closer, and it was not dead. it was twitching and breathing, and it was like it let out a little like. And I was like, oh God, no! What do I do? I had 10th division. So I called up MomBrain because I'm like, there's a baby bird. What are we gonna do? What are we supposed to do? And we were like, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Should we move it? So we both looked it up, and it was like, you can leave it or you can move it to the shade. The mother will not shun the baby. That scent thing isn't real, blah, 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 whatever. So I was like, it's not real. So I was like, well, I guess
So
move
if the
the
mother hates
bird.
the baby, it's because the baby's a jerk.
That's right.
So it's nothing to do with the smell. It's the
Lego.
attitude.
So thankfully, MomBrain hopped in the car. We were, not even a minute away, basically. She put on a pair of gloves, hopped in the car, came down here, picked up the baby bird, and we placed it under a tree in some mulch in the shade. And 2 robins came over right away and were squawking at it. So either they're going to kill it or it's the parents. So
it was not like a newborn because it had feathers and it was pretty big. So I'm hoping that it's like hardy enough to maybe be all right. But it looked like something happened to one of its eyes.
It didn't look terrible.
No.
It looked like the eye had like a scratch under it.
And there
or
wasn't
something.
like blood anywhere.
Birds there to finish it off? Was that what?
It's possible.
I'll tell you tomorrow on my
How long
next
did you
walk.
stick around for?
Yeah, we looked at the 2 birds and they were looking at it and like whatever. So we were like, all right, let's go. There's birds here, so I'm sure the bird community will be talking about it.
Maybe it was Good Feathers from Animaniacs, and they were coming to finish the job.
I never even thought of that. Why wouldn't I, of all people, think of that right away?
They weren't pigeons, though, right?
Not pigeons.
Okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
You know what?
Only the pigeons do.
That's
crime.
true. There's got to be other Goodfellas birds, not pigeon related, but maybe not.
You know what's really weird? Just last night, I was reminiscing about the time in grade school when I accidentally killed a baby robin.
Oh,
Jesus.
reminiscing.
Yeah.
Took it from the shade
good
and put it in the
times.
sun.
The good old days.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't call it reminiscing. More like soul searching.
Yes. There you go.
Yeah,
Trying to fall asleep.
like-
One of the terrible things.
Yeah, right. Let me think of all the missteps I've made in my life.
Low light reel.
long story short, I picked up a robin's egg and accidentally crushed it in my hand.
Well, it probably wasn't
with your
fertilized.
strength.
It wasn't fertilized.
You're a superhero.
And I might have thought it was candy.
It was a yolk.
I might have thought it was one
I
of those
accidentally
malted robin
crushed
eggs.
it in my
This-
teeth.
Did you
It
drink the
sounds
yolk?
like you were very young when this happened. It doesn't seem
I
like you
hope
should
you were
have.
very young.
Don't put candy in this nest.
Mother, look, it's one of those naturally occurring Cadbury eggs. So I will type in the Discord tomorrow to let you know if the bird is still there or not. But if you're an audio listener, you'll have to wait a whole week to find out. So, MomBrain, great job. You did a great deed today.
Well, thanks. I think we gave it the best chance it could have.
We put it in a pile of dirt. Yep. I mean, what else? Like, we
That's-
did exactly
that's
what
where
the
we all
internet
end
said.
up, yeah.
So, unless
Pile
the
of
internet's
dirt.
lying,
Yeah.
we tried our best.
And you can't just leave it. Like I
It was
would,
on the
I would have
sidewalk
felt
That was
in the
so
sun.
horrible.
That was one of the
Yeah.
choices that they gave them.
And it was like, yes, it said leave it where it is, but it's in the sun on the sidewalk. So I'm like, this thing's bacon. And it's one of those little baby birds. So it's like eyes are like, and it's like mouth open. And you're like, oh,
might as well
God,
be on
so
the sun.
helpless.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Get off my sidewalk.
And I also texted MomBrain right after. I was like, and you got to come quick because there's a lady walking her dog and it's going to eat the bird. It's like, if this lady comes around the corner and the dog sees the bird's dead.
Oh
So,
no!
but yes, hopefully all is well. We will see.
I was
what
in the
happens.
middle of like all kinds of yard work.
Mm.
And I just love
Oh,
that.
I'm sorry. Did this dying bird
No, but
inconvenience
like
you?
had I been the one there, I would have just like scooped it up and moved it.
I don't want to do it barehanded.
I would have. And so I just love that he's like, I need you to come take care of this. And then I got there and he was like, this is a you thing, not a me thing.
If you weren't like close, like if I was, walking, so I would have done it barehanded, but you're right here, so gloves. Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, I'm not picking that thing up and like walked away and been like, I couldn't do anything, didn't have a choice. So
Cover it up. And walk,
yeah,
walking.
right. Just like push it like down into the storm drain. There you go, little guy.
Kick it a little bit at a time with the old shoe.
And no one's any wiser. So yes, I will report back and let you know. Also, MomBrain and Deux mostly give yourselves a round of applause. You've done it.
You've done it.
RLM 2112 notified me on Discord yesterday. I got a notification from them. Why? They wanted to let me know that Wario64, who tweets out deals all the time, tweeted out a deal about a free train game on Steam because he thought I'd want to know about it. So there you go. You did it. And I was like, why did you send me this? And he said, because you love trains.
What do the trains do?
You did it. I don't know. Oh,
Chugga chugga and choo choo.
That's all.
They carry cargo, passengers, all kinds of things.
they're
I know a lot about them.
what's not to love about trains? You know a lot about trains? Big train fan?
I do now.
There you go.
Well, his son is a huge train fan.
I do
Big
now.
train
A
fan.
big train fan.
Abandoned trains are his favorite thing.
I live with a big train fan
Great,
as well.
Great. This is the joke. As a child, I did appreciate trains, and apparently I
like how
still
you're really
appreciate
tempering
them.
it down.
I
I appreciate a good train.
I can look at a train and be like, "There's a train," and that's about as far as it goes. I don't hate the train.
Yeah, look that.
I only get a
train
little
up and
turned
down.
on.
See that butt on that train?
Look at that caboose.
Yeah, look at that caboose.
So there you go.
Gets my
Mission
engine
accomplished.
pumping.
The internet has picked up on you guys saying I love trains. So,
Well,
that's
we wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
that's right. That's
You get
this
sent a
show's
lot of
all about
stuff.
truth.
Yeah, so-
Have I ever been sent anything train related? I don't think so. So there are train
Not
games
yet.
on the Switch. Railway Empire 2 or something is coming out. So
Or something.
maybe.
Yeah, I like that.
Or something. I don't know what it's
You
called.
know what? I'm gonna look it up now because now I want to. If I'm hoping I got the name wrong, but I'm probably
That's
got it right.
exactly right.
Maybe it's. What do you think? Railway or railroad? What do you think it is?
Rail time.
Well, what did I say the name was?
Something Empire.
Rail time.
All right.
Empire.
Well,
I
I got
already
it
forgot.
exactly right. So
course you
I'm a
did.
big train fan. Railway
something.
Empire 2.
No,
June
there's-
22nd, people.
there's-
Railway Empire
There's
2.
no denying it now. Sorry.
Man, you better rush through Tears of the Kingdom if
It's-
you're gonna get.
Cheers
It's
to
the
the
sequel to
railway.
the hit Railway Management Simulator.
Why they? I can see why they
Hopeful
changed the name.
entrepreneurs I was going to say play me some train music. I don't know what that would be, but hopeful entrepreneurs can begin staking their claim as a magnet in the golden age of locomotives, take on the role of a railway tycoon, and build the most expansive transportation empire across over 250 cities throughout North America and Europe. Manage resources.
Let me some North America.
Manage resources, construct tracks, and grow ever-evolving cities to build the greatest railway network the world has ever seen.
Oh,
There you go.
baby.
Woo woo! So there you go. June 22nd, everybody. Expect my full review, and I'll be in a conductor's hat for you.
Conductor's hat sold separately.
Yeah, I'll have one. I got one of those. I have that Spirit Tracks train whistle from Nintendo. I could blow that throughout the review. Watch me blow my whistle. All right. Like I said, we got other stuff to talk about. This is gaming. This is game. All gaming related stuff before we get into regular news. Number one,
Ho.
David Jaffe. You guys know what he made?
Big
Yeah,
mistake.
he created God of War.
God of
if I
War.
remember right.
Yes,
Sure, yeah.
God of War creator. Most recently, we talked about him complaining about how Metroid Dread was too hard for him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he's retired, right?
He is
Kind of.
retired for the most part. Whatever his last game was didn't do well, and he's like, I hate all of the industry now. They don't understand me. So you know how it is. Because you make one hit game,
Has he become a supervillain?
and then
now?
people don't see. Well, we're gonna get into that. People don't like your next game as much, and he's like, it's the people who are wrong. So, anyway, David Jaffe, yes, complained about Metroid Dread. Oh, Jesus, what a year
Jaff.
ago, saying the
He
game didn't
even
make
put
sense.
footage of himself playing it poorly, which is kind of embarrassing.
Because he's one of those people that in his mind is like, clearly I'm the one that's right, and no one could ever see this any other way. Like they just
It's a good
can't fathom that
It's a good
there's another
attitude to have.
perspective.
It'll
Yeah,
get you
right.
far.
Well,
Yeah, that'll take you far.
he's been playing The Legend of Zelda
It'll
Tears
take
of the
you-
Kingdom.
it'll
Oh, I
take
wonder what he
Jafar.
thinks about this.
So, he's all right. So David Jaffe is a troll, without a doubt. I'm going to say
Jaffe.
self-admittedly, although I don't have evidence of that. I'm guessing at some point he has said, yes, I'm trolling, but whatever. But he's one of those guys like, oh, I'm just telling the truth here, man. It's just the truth. And then it's all opinion. But anyway,
Nice.
he's been getting people riled up on Twitter because he's talking about Tears of the Kingdom. And he's been sending out some spicy takes. And most recently he said, I've been trumpeting gameplay over visuals and games as an art form. Since I started making games
There's gonna be
professionally
a big
20
but
years
here.
ago. Fact is, though, there are distractingly
stop it.
ugly parts
Yes.
of this game, Tears of the Kingdom. Deal with it or don't, but it's true. So
Do deal or don't deal,
it's
though.
it's not a fact. It's true for you. Do you find parts of Tears of the Kingdom distractingly ugly? That's fine if you
That's
do.
bold.
To say that it's true and deal with it or don't deal with
I'm
it.
gonna
Maybe
need-
if you're just saying it's true that I feel that way, sure. I got no problem with that. That's
What
fine.
that's what
true.
gets people confused. It's
Yes.
true that I feel this way about it. That
we,
doesn't make it truth.
we listened to
I
a-
think that's what it is.
we listened to a podcast where they have a sound clip of a guy who says that's just a fact in my opinion, and they play that over and over again. So anyway, people are like,
Oh boy.
you know,
It's just a
debating.
fact in my-
People
that-
are debating Jaffe on Twitter, which is
That's it.
exactly what he wants. And I know this is like feeding the troll, but I have a point in all this, I promise. But anyway,
Like to eat.
he
Children.
internet clout is what they like to eat. Clout goblins, as the kids call them nowadays. Also, he tweeted out afterwards an AI generated image of a realistic Legend of Zelda game,
And said smash or pass.
and to me it looked like, you know, like God of War art style, but Legend of Zelda. It was very AI generated, very like
Space
Fluffy.
World.
it was very it was like very just generic fantasy.
Well, it's like that.
it didn't look bad, but it's not like, you know, I think when I think of the Legend of Zelda series, I think of a whole bunch of things, including a series that has a unique visual identity throughout many games.
Yeah,
But
like
anyway,
I think we said the same thing when we watched that like ultra realistic version of, I guess it was Ocarina of Time, right?
yeah, that's what he was talking about. Space World, the Space World trailer. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The yes, you mean the like the 4K
Just like the
Unreal
Unreal-
Engine.
the
Yes,
Unreal
Yeah, that's what I
stuff.
meant.
You got it.
It was
yes,
Unreal,
falls
yeah.
into the right thing. So he tweeted out that image and he said someone should send this to the folks at Nintendo and show them how to do art the next time.
That's
So, you know,
That's how you do art.
just being a dick
Ugh.
completely. So
So
again, I have
gross.
nothing wrong with people who look at any game or any piece of art and say, I don't like how this looks visually. That's fine. What Jaffe's doing is just being a piece of garbage. Like he knows he's doing this to rile people up and to add to discourse online, because as we all know, we need more discourse in online discussions everywhere. So
Absolutely. Not enough.
he's just being
Especially
a
with
piece of
video
garbage.
games.
And somebody was like, dude, why are you doing this? And you're just
'Cause it's
riling.
easy.
He's like, you're just going out to rile people up. And he says, it's terrible of me, but at the same time, it just fascinates me how they can be so easily baited. Hey, here's an idea, Jaffe. How about you don't be a piece of garbage? Like
Yeah.
I don't understand how you can do this and be like, I'm going to say something that I know is inflammatory, and look at these people getting upset about it. Like,
It's like,
it's so easy.
I
can't
robbed this
believe it."
bank because they didn't hire security guards.
Yeah.
So
It's like, I'm doing it because it's just so easy to do it. By the way, it's also true, and this is how I feel. But I'm just doing it to rile people up because it's so easy. So you can't play both sides. And it's, you know what it is? The best word I can describe it with is
Jealousy.
embarrassing. It's just embarrassing. You
Yeah.
can,
I think
you're
Jaffe
a
has too
game
much time on his
developer
hands.
who's created a franchise that is world renowned and has sold millions upon millions of copies, still going strong, even though you're not involved. Like, it's very successful. Be proud of it and recognize the amount of work that goes into any game. You are and were a game developer. For you to tweet out stuff like this, you're a man coming from the inside. How can you have how can you not have a more nuanced take than this game is distractingly ugly? Like, talk about how you feel about the visuals in a more sophisticated way and say what you would do differently. But how about don't crap on their work? That's it. Like, have a nuanced take.
But
have a
being
deep
constructive
discussion.
is so hard, though. It takes time
Right?
and thought.
That's exactly it. And you
Oh.
don't get the internet points. You don't get to
Right.
ratio other people with
yeah,
your
no
likes
one's-
and all
yeah,
that
no one
stuff.
wants to read that. They want to
Don't
read
be
the juices.
constructive.
That's what
That's
it
not
is.
what the
Yes.
internet's
We
for.
can't be constructive. That's exactly right.
I feel like
Hi, Solomon Esterling.
because he doesn't do this for every game that's popular, right? It just seems to be Nintendo games. So is it like a jealousy thing, like that he's like that they're doing well or something? Like, it's such a weird thing to go at. I mean,
that
that
is
Gollum
not
game came out and is getting trashed. Why doesn't he go and trash the Gollum
Now,
game? Oh,
see-
because no one would care if he trashed the Gollum
I'll
game.
step in and say I don't know how much he trashes other games. Believe it or not, I make it a point to not follow David Jaffe too much, but this has been such a topic of discussion. So I don't know if he craps on all games equally, which is still not a good thing. But yeah, I don't know what his online behavior is like with other companies. But yes, it does come up a lot. I see Red Souza shared one of his tweets in the chat, ones that I commented. He says, David Jaffe says, I don't give an F about amazing production value plus visuals. A great game is a great game, just starting, and so far so good. But given how much everyone goes ape shovel over visuals, it's staggering how this game can look like this and not get at least a little dinged by reviews. And then he shared a screenshot from the game. So just to be clear, David Jaffe also says, I don't give an F about amazing production value plus visuals. A great game is a great game and just starting, so far so good. Also, my next tweet is about how, like, you can't say that stuff and then do your following tweets. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
You can have one of those opinions, certainly.
And especially being like, because everybody gets up in arms about visuals, and it's like, you're doing exactly that right here. And you're riling people up to do it.
Hey, Jeff.
So riled up?
Jaffe, let me read the own issue with your own statement. You say, I don't give a F about amazing production values and visuals. Also, in your same tweet, you say, I don't understand how this doesn't get dinged at least a little bit by reviews. So reviewers should ding it for visuals, but also you don't care about visuals. So you don't understand how reviews don't bring it up, even though you don't do it personally. I don't know, maybe reviewers don't care or put a lot of weight in visuals, and they care about gameplay, which is exactly what you just said you do. So should a review tackle visuals in a game? It certainly can. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying.
Perfect sense to me.
You're talking out of both sides of your mouth is what I'm trying to say here. So David Jaffe is being David Jaffe. Again, I want to make this point. Invite Jaffe on the podcast, Mind Without a Cause. I don't know about that. I want to make this point. You can criticize whatever you would like about a game, a movie, a TV show, an album, anything in any way, shape, or form. All I ask, well, you can do it however you want. You can be an asshole about it all you want. But my plea is, how about constructive, so we can all get into deeper discussions and get something from it, rather than the message being, it's so easy to rile up trolls and fans and people who are passionate and care about things. Can't wait to get all those hearts and likes and upvotes. Like that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So please, when I put this on the podcast highlights channel, subscribe and upvote to this video. Thank you. So there's my part about David Jaffe. Anything to add, anybody?
Smash
Or?
that subscribe button.
Thank you, Josh. Everybody good? Everybody, anything you want to add? Okay.
Yeah, nothing else. So
Moving on to internet crap from other people to someone. Herman Hulst is the head of Sony Interactive Entertainment
Herman's
Worldwide Studios. This is what he does now.
That's what I
After
saw
Herman's
Herman's
head, he
head.
went to run Sony's game division. Formerly the managing director of Guerrilla Games. So Sony,
who ironically didn't make Donkey Kong.
he did not.
Did not make it.
Sony this week had their PlayStation showcase, which I guess I watch all of Sony's presentations. I watch all of gaming's presentations because I like video games.
I love presentations.
I love them.
I'm just a presentation guy.
You're really good
If there's a presentation on
They're
there.
presenting.
That's right. Then I'm presenting.
They were using the latest version of PowerPoint.
I'm more into
animation?
Google Slides nowadays, but
See that wipe? Left to right wipe?
so they had their PlayStation showcase. So I guess what they've done more recently is their state of plays, which are smaller events where they just show a few things. But they did their PlayStation showcase,
where they show games that are coming to all three systems, but they only mention conveniently Sony.
Oh, that's their showcases and state of plays, but showcases are much longer. And I expect the showcases are supposed to be their like a full fat Nintendo Direct. You know how Nintendo's has their indie directs or their indie showcases? That'd be a state of play for Sony. Sony's PlayStation showcases, like, here's our big guns traditionally. So they had their showcase this week. It was an hour long. I thought it was okay. There were some games in there I really was interested in, and some I don't care about. But overall, I thought it was okay.
How many of the ones you cared about were train oriented?
Trying to think if any had trains in them. I'm going to say none, but I don't think they showed any with trains. I could be wrong.
Well, there couldn't have been.
How many of them would have been made better with trains?
All of them,
Okay.
certainly.
Good
but,
answer. The right answer
yes,
for a train
that's
lover.
that's an easy answer.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm sweating a little bit.
So they had an hour-long showcase. I liked it, and I was like, I bet the internet is gonna hate this. So you know how we've been talking about, you and I do, we've been talking about PlayStation 5 and how we don't feel it's a bad system, but when it comes to exclusives, we're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I guess this show was the straw that broke Sony fans' backs because they lost their minds in a bad way.
It's
They
about
like
time.
saw this presentation,
died.
and people died. They were like, "This is what you show us. This is like we've been waiting for a showcase, and this is what you give us." They're like, "What's happening with Sony?"
Was it visually garbage?
It was not visually Oh well, I'll get into that actually.
Hey,
People were
Spoiler.
like, "What is this? Like, you've shown us nothing. You've shown us things we already knew were coming out, and other stuff we don't care about at all." I've seen like analysts and other game industry people be like, the turnaround from Sony Die Hard to I Hate Sony that happened this week has been
Oh,
mind
wow.
blowing.
Oh,
like,
no.
I will say without
did
a
it
doubt,
again.
I
Or they-
can't
or
remember.
They just saying it for the internet.
No, because Sony diehards are Sony diehards. And the commentary online in the last few years has been Sony is between Sony and
Is there anyone
Microsoft.
with the handle that's literally Sony diehard and who's like,
I'm
never
sure there
again.
is. I'm sure they're out there.
Changing my name.
The commentary or the narrative online for the last few years has been Sony between Sony and Microsoft. Sony is the best. Microsoft, LOL, basically is what it is. But this week, the Sony commentary, like I've seen so many threads and discussions that are like, I've been a Sony supporter for so long and I've given them the benefit of the doubt, but after this is horrendous. Threads, which we're going to talk about, where people are like, I'm so happy that there's a backlash to this because Sony deserves it. So I've been like blown away because I can't remember the last time I've seen people come down on Sony
because
like
they
this.
gave a bad presentation.
Because I don't even want to say it was bad. Like,
What did they show exactly?
they showed an hour of games. That was it. Like, they just showed games that I guess didn't resonate with people. They showed a lot of games as a service games. So Sony Interactive Entertainment, stuff like Fortnite or Apex Legends, where it's an always going,
I understand.
and there's cosmetic microtransactions. So it's like a living, breathing thing. It's a game that you is always going and always getting new stuff. And games as a service
Alive.
makes more
Thanks.
money for developers because it's a constant source of revenue. You don't just put out a game and you
Money.
make your money and it's done.
Yeah, no.
It's always going. So they show.
Alive.
So I understand some of that. People not down with
Dr.
games as a
Franken.
service. I understand.
Just like Dr. Franken.
We're all waiting for that one.
Oh, man. Is that what they showed?
Dr.
No.
Dr. Franken
This is
games
just
as a
Dr.
service.
Franken.
Dr. Franken Fortnite is coming out.
Is that's the game where he plays like a giant headed Frankenstein?
You got it.
Who
monster?
wears sunglasses and
You
a
got it.
Just
Hawaiian
another
shirt or
case of
something?
Cool box art. Taking two kids Jeffrey bucks.
So the backlash was there. And as I said, Herman Hulst, Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios head. He, as
What's
you
the name of
would,
that long
Herman's head.
title?
as
That's why they call it Herman's head.
So-
as you would on social
Oh.
media, and as being the head of this division, you're I'll call him the Herman from now on. Being the Herman of this division, as they're doing the showcase, he's tweeting out like,
Herman.
really proud of our partners, really proud of our games, very excited for this, that, and the other thing. He
No
is
one's
getting
not gonna like this.
destroyed on Twitter. And there's stuff like the usual internet trolls are like, this
What
was
were
garbage.
they really pushing? Was there something they were like super proud of, and that was like so below? Or they
So
just, like, there was nothing
literally,
they were highlighting. It was like,
It was an
what's-
hour presentation of just trailers,
Right.
which is fine.
Tom Cruise,
But it was
as
different
Tony
games the whole
Stark.
time. The only thing the thing that got the most time was Spider-Man 2, which we all knew was coming, and they showed off a big chunk of gameplay. That's going to be their big anchor game this season.
Okay.
Looks great.
So that was all previously seen. footage.
We saw new footage of it, but we knew that game was
Oh.
coming. It was already announced and all that. But before that, we saw a couple things we already knew about and brand new things. But people just didn't like what they saw. So people are tweeting this guy being like, "This was garbage. I hate this. How could you show this? We waited so long." Which is usual internet troll
This-
stuff. And then, unfortunately, that includes the kill yourself and all that stuff.
Oh, no.
And then there was, next level, like, I am going to murder your family.
Oh,
You are
good.
dead. I'm coming to kill you and everyone you love.
Well,
all
hopefully
that
that
stuff.
gets them to make some good games. I mean, geez.
He goes back to his team. He's like, "God, blew it. My family's on the line."
We-
So,
That's what motivates me.
That's so hard.
so I'm reading this and I'm like, this is insanity. How are people like this? I get that you watch the presentation and let's say you didn't like it, but like to have such vitriol, to go to the man and be like, I want you to die and I want your family to die because I didn't like you spending 4 minutes on
Got it.
I don't know.
Gotta stop giving
Never.
those. Gotta stop giving those 8-year-olds their own Netscape accounts. You know.
You know, our
I'm
type.
praying that it's 8-year-olds.
Over the years,
I've
I've come to realize
It's gang initiation.
it is
That's all
part
it is.
of that. The
I'm
8-year-olds,
gonna
but
kill you. I'm gonna kill your family.
unfortunately, it's not 8-year-olds all the time. It's adults who are like
Who
this.
act like 8-year-olds, which is great.
I just saw this happening to this man, and I was blown away because he's just getting lit up.
You're
So
just
it's
getting
been
blown away.
it's been insanity ever since they've done the showcase, and the tide has really turned. I'm just absolutely
So
shocked.
first two stories, key takeaway: people get angry on the internet. What's
People
up with
get angry on the internet. Yeah,
You underestimate the power of the dark side.
that?
and that's a great segue to the next story
Star
because
Wars.
we have someone who was angry
and then now it's happy.
and they're not anymore.
Hey,
Ooh.
This is one of the greatest things I've seen. I read this original thing on Reddit, and then I read. All right, so there was a thread on Reddit that I read, and I was very interested in it. And then later on, the next day, I read a thread about this thread that brought something else to this to my attention, and it's fascinating.
What subs were they on?
Okay, so that's a great question. I'm on Reddit. Hold
That's
on,
a great question.
let me take a look here.
Mm.
I don't remember what subreddit. It was like one of the popular
Animals
generic
being
ones.
bros.
No.
Nature is metal.
So the subreddit or the guy on the subreddit titled this post, "Can a former skinhead reach salvation?" I know this is a sensitive topic
Yeah,
here, but
American
us at
History X.
GoNintendo are
He's
not
watched it.
Yeah, look at
supporters
Ed
of
Norton.
Nazis.
He's fine now.
But anyway, the guy says, "Just give it to me straight. I used to be one. Racist, sexist, homophobic, the works. I was an effing shovelhead. So was my father, his father before him, all that BS. But I changed, at least. I'd like to think I did. I abandoned my ways, realized I had been brainwashed, went hard left, pulled a effing my name is Earl with the people I hurt, donate to good causes, hell, even effing protests. But, well, I still feel I can never redeem myself. I can never put more positive out than the negative I did. I have trouble getting out of bed or doing anything for myself after realizing just how bad of an F-up I was. It's been years, almost a decade. But can I be redeemed? Can I ever become a good person?" And the responses were, "You are a good person. You've done something that hardly anybody ever does, where they go not full circle. They do a 180 and they're
circle.
Yeah, half circle. You've
Why
gone
did we
moon.
say that?
So it
Full
was
half
great.
moon.
Responses were great. So I read that and I was like, that's really awesome to see because you never hear that kind of stuff. You just hear the shovel heads and then
Great.
it stays
And
like
then
that.
what happens?
No, it gets better.
Oh wow!
Somebody, this is what became the thread of
Somebody
Better
killed
in a good
that
way or
guy.
Better in a worse way.
This
guy made a game and people hated it.
The next part appeared on the subreddit Gaming Circle Jerk, and it was about how this man went from being a Nazi to not a Nazi. Somebody asked him, and he replied,
Video games, bro.
and he says,
Call of Duty, bro.
"There was a channel called The Quartering." Now you know The Quartering from H3. That's
I've heard
Jeremy, the guy that peed in his basement guy.
Yeah,
So I peed in my basement.
Yeah.
My wife went out for pizza without me. That guy. He
Yeah.
says there was a channel called The Quartering, which did a hit piece on a game called Celeste for having a tiny trans flag in a corner for 5 seconds in a single cutscene.
Did you?
It
know
all
about
felt
that?
so stupid, and that's where the crack started. That's how the man went from being Nazi to not Nazi. The Quartering making a video complaining about Celeste having a trans flag. That shows just the tiniest sliver of something can change someone's mind. It's amazing. Now, I knew that was in Celeste. I didn't know The Quartering did that. Spoiler alert, Celeste is old enough. Celeste is about the creator of the game realizing that they were trans. And the main character in Celeste is trans. It's about their personal journey.
If you've played Celeste, you could be forgiven for not picking up on that. I think
it's
kind of a platformer.
Well, it is a.
I get it. I'm dumbing
no,
it down
I
a
got
lot.
it. Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
special
I got it.
game.
No. I'm not coming down on you. But the whole game is about the story of that game is someone's personal journey going. I mean,
yeah, I have read that before.
it's not a spoiler in the sense that the game spells it out for you, but it is all very much there. And that's one of my favorite games of all time. I love that game so much, top to bottom, everything about it. But I was like, this is both so saddening and so hopeful because someone saw this game and was like, it's got a trans flag. I'm gonna tear it apart. And a Nazi saw it and was like, this is too far, I think. And it created their path to redemption. So
That's a
Good.
really
What a
interesting
world.
story
Yeah, I would
because
never have guessed that would have been it.
right?
you would have just guessed like, yeah, they would agree with the quarterings, like overreaction to this thing. But like, it's interesting to be like, you know, like, even though I feel a certain way, like I can recognize that it's ridiculous to like
Hi,
what this
Koboon.
person's doing. But the fact that it even flipped them totally 180, what a story that I wish could be
Representation
repeated.
matters.
Which could be repeated.
Yes, exactly right. It's a great thing to see, and I wanted to bring that to bring that to your attention because I thought it was awesome. Plus, I'm a big fan of Celeste. Koboon sums up the story nicely by saying, "Good game, meh pizza."
Nice.
Mama's lost her touch.
Nice.
Mama's lost her touch.
I saw
At the top of the mountain, spoiler, is a pizza. So,
oh,
Celeste
Mama
climbs the
Celeste
mountain
pizza?
and meets
Yeah,
Mama
very
Celeste.
Oh
mediocre
no!
pizza.
You climb a whole mountain and all you get is a Mama
Think
Celeste.
about it. In the game, you
Not
collect
worth it.
strawberries the whole way up the mountain. You get to the top, and there's a crappy pizza waiting for you.
yeah, that's kind of
Left
misleading.
Red Souza, without getting too political, I agree with you. Yes. But moving on,
Political pizza.
our last story
This
before the
pizza is
news.
too conservative.
It's too conservative with toppings.
I saw just real quick. So we were talking about Reddit and like horrible takes. I saw one that was. Is it gay to say good morning to another man?
I saw that.
And
I saw that.
I read it, and it was like this.
You
this
can say it to a woman. You
person-
can say it to a woman.
Yeah, this person's
Apparently.
father was like really mad
Yes.
at them for saying good morning to another man, and they were like,
Yeah, I
they're gonna
read
think
it.
you're
I
a
read
fruit or something like that.
What was their response? You boys all right?
Yes. That's what.
But the fact that someone would say that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what
crazy.
makes me know we're all. I don't want to say good people, but we're all in good company.
That's on
That
Facepalm
all
for us
came
and
to
not on-
that all came to us. We all saw that.
Right,
So
right.
that says something. Our last story before we get into
We're all on the same algorithm
news. Yes.
network.
This is not
matrix
controversial or about horrible people online. I'm going to torture you guys because I'm being tortured.
Because I'm mean.
I got an email from Sega.
Ugh.
What do you mean, oh God?
Electronic mail again?
Being
Sega.
tortured.
No. It's a fun torture.
Oh.
I got an email from Sega. Sega told me a package is on the way. It's
Ooh.
coming Friday.
That's yesterday.
This coming Friday.
That's too far.
Tell me about it. I do not know what is in the package, and they will not tell me.
Why did they have to
God,
send
you
the
stand
email? Why couldn't they have sent
And
the
then I
email
got
on
like
Thursday?
the FedEx confirmation. I don't know what it is.
Torture. Where is
I
it now?
cannot
Can we
find out. It's
Fort
in
Wayne?
California.
Ugh, it's too far.
And you have no clue, like none of your deduction skills could even. get
That's what I
close.
want to talk about with fans
Is it
in
a
case
he-
I'm
a
missing
live
something.
hedgehog spray painted blue? Please.
When I get the box and there's air holes cut into it.
And you put it in the shade.
Okay, so Drake, you went where my mind went first. Drake says Samba de Amigo because there's a new
Oh,
Samba de Amigo game coming out
yes.
Switch, but that doesn't come out until August
That
and
game-
late August. It's like August 29th or
Big
something.
fan of that game.
Now, this is a
Dreamcast.
brand new Samba de Amigo game
Can
for
you,
Switch
can you play
exclusive.
with the maracas?
You play with the
Maracas?
Joy-Con. I don't
Meow.
think they're doing accessories. Too
Come on.
expensive.
No. Too often.
So Samba de Amigo is late in August, but it could be a press kit for that. That is true. Certainly plausible. I looked at
What would
Sega's
come with the press
lineup.
kit?
I don't know what else would
Maracas.
be Nintendo related. See, I thought of that. William George, you're right there too. Sonic Origins Plus. I believe that's before
Is that a streaming
Samba de
network?
Amigo. So they did Sonic Origins, which was a collection of old Sonic games. This is Plus with more
Just
old
put a-
games
just
added.
Put a plus on.
What if it's like a can of the Sonic G Fuel?
Oh, that was tasty. So I'd be down for that. I'm
That's-
praying
but
for you,
that's a
Anastasia.
lot.
Hang
It's
in
just old and repackaged Ecto Cooler. They
So
don't know what
that's
to do
true
with it.
too. I guess it could be a digital code for that package because I believe we're on PR for that. So that's true. Press kit. So those are options. Now there's the pie in the sky. Third option that time-wise is most likely,
An all expenses
But-
paid trip.
Oh my goodness.
most likely overall. I don't know. Just yesterday, and I've been promoting it a good amount. Just yesterday, Sega and Crocs teamed up for Sonic the Hedgehog Crocs. They are red. They look like his
Don't
shoes.
you dare get your hopes up, man. That's,
With
that'd be
Sonic-
so awesome.
With Sonic related gibbets on them. So like
Gibbets too?
chili dogs and tails and look them up. Look them up.
Side note: have they texted you randomly for your shoe size?
They have
Oh
not.
yeah, how would they know that?
That's a good. I mean,
It's out there on the
They're gonna
For a
send you one of
Nintendo-
every size
for a Nintendo related account.
with gibbets for
We
each.
weren't sure which
For a
one was gonna
Nintendo related
fit, so we did them
account,
all.
I have talked about Crocs a lot. So depending on how much they sleuth,
Well,
they could have surmised some kind of size in there. I'm sure.
it may be too late, but you should start sprinkling in your shoe size out there more frequently.
Size
just for
12, size 12, everybody.
occasions.
Sega, it's size 12. Sega.
Saiga.
Yeah, you sign it like RMC, he, him, size,
Size
11.
12. Here you are. Just well, you know what? I can put it in the
May I-
Discord.
may I see?
Yes, I was going
And
to show you.
they're called gibbets. I just figured they were
The little things you put them on
charms.
are called gibbets.
You know,
Do
they're
they-
red. I was not
Is that really
expecting
what they're
them.
I
called?
said they're red because they're like Sonic shoes.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not called charms, they're called gibbets.
They're called gibbets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Gibbets
wow.
is the official Crocs name. Yes.
You know, I
Isn't
think
that
Gibbets are
like-
also the things that the custodians find all over the floors at school every day.
A gibbet was a
Isn't it like
pre-modern like torture device. You hang up the person in a public
in
square
those
to be
in those,
gibbeted,
like
like a body
cage,
tight
right?
cage.
Yeah, but this has
Not
a,
nice.
this
Just
has a
like-
Z on it.
so it's not. Oh, I'm thinking of giblets, like the little chicken parts. I was like, what?
Sonic
You got gibbets,
Sega's sending me a
giblets, and
box of
gibbets with a
giblets.
Z.
Sonic giblets.
I'm just gonna say I don't
Popcorn
like any
chicken.
of those. Also, I think lawsuits. People are gonna try to run in these as fast as Sonic.
Yeah,
And-
they
Well,
better
they
put them
have
in
the-
sport mode.
People
They
are
have
gonna
two
get hurt.
modes.
They have sport mode, yeah,
That's
so you're
the-
fine.
but the
Off-road and
straps need
sport.
to be double strength if they're gonna be
Maybe they
Sonic
are.
speed.
Maybe they got some writing on them. So I sure
Oh,
can.
yeah, hopefully they ran it by the risk department.
So this is my hope above all
I love
hopes.
that.
People
and the
gonna be trying to be
inside,
run
that's
upside
the coolest
down.
part's the part you can't see on the inside.
Sega knows. I like Sega knows about GoNintendo. Sega like it. This isn't.
They
just
know I'll wear
They,
anything.
they know my address clearly.
They have sent me nice press kits before. We
know I
haven't
defend
talked
gibbets.
recently about anything. So this was a cold call.
Oh,
like
that would
you're
be
getting
so
a
cool.
package.
And this would be
So-
such a way to kind of. I know Sega is cool with Nintendo now, but this would be a way to kind of rub it in Nintendo's face. They're like, oh, you had to go all the way to New York to look at Mario's boots. Well, guess what? You're getting a whole pair of Sonic shoes, baby. Like, that's so cool. If that's the thing. Obviously, now we're too excited.
Well, I don't know. Also, thank you very much. I'm honored that you went to look on WikiFeet to see if I was there. I am not, but if you can find a picture of my grippers, you go ahead and put them on there. I'd be happy to be
Gross.
on.
My gripper.
See, that's the other thing, because I say that, especially lately, all the time. Put those grippers away, and I'm quoting Rouge, or was it Rouge the Bat? Might be.
Is
The
that a
meme.
Sonic quote?
It's not an
thought it was like
official
Home
quote. It's a
Alone.
meme. Sega, out of every company, specifically the Sonic account, their social media team is so aware of current memes and trends. And not just that, but how people are using Sonic with them. They are ridiculously up to date. They know all that stuff in and out. So when I say put those grippers away, the Sonic people know without a doubt. They know about
speaking their language.
Rouge the Bat saying what is it? Your pissing sounds like you're sizzling bacon in there or whatever. There's all kinds of weird
My
Sonic
goodness.
stuff. And Sega knows about all of it and they lean into it, which is great. I love that. So it could be that also. Oh, somebody, here you go.
You, Sonic. Put those grippers away.
There you go. Thank you very much,
Anastasia.
Anastasia. I really appreciate it. Yes, it could be that. Also, just a few weeks ago, I guess a month ago, I interviewed the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sonic Prime series on Netflix.
Lorenzo
So-
Music?
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wait. No.
He's the voice of a cat and a hedgehog. Yes. So
R.I.P.
all the connections are there. So I'm hoping it's Crocs. You know, it'll be a Crocs thing, and it'll be a piece of paper in a box. It'll be like Sega and
Like a
Crocs have
voucher.
teamed up to
A
let
pic-
you.
a
No, not
picture-
even
a
that.
picture of Crocs.
Just a press release and a picture. Here's what they look
Or like a
Yeah.
mini pair for your keychain, like a little.
Yes, yes. So I
or your
am
cat.
tortured by knowing, and it's supposed to arrive Friday. Will it? Hopefully, but I don't know.
Because I wear
Um,
my Crocs on Friday.
So you guys will
So
know
cool.
that following Saturday next Saturday, what it is. So next show, tune in.
What it is.
I'm not going to come into the Discord and tell you. I will do it on the show live. Let's put it this way. If it doesn't show up Friday, then I'll come into the Discord and let you know. So if you don't hear anything from me on Friday, then know it's arrived and I will show
Be
you.
forewarned, those of you with an audio foot fetish, tune in.
That's right. Also, full force hype.
But I've
Oh,
seen
Very
everything.
specific
I walked-
fetish.
I can hear the foot.
I walked right into this. I was going to say,
I can hear him putting the shoe on.
get aboard the hype train because I'm a big train person. So get aboard the hype train, everybody. We're
We
choo
gotta
choo
fix
to
some
Friday.
shoes.
We'll see what happens. And there you go. That's all of our discussions before we get
Very
into regular
exciting.
news. So, MomBrain, if you will. If you will. Oh, thank you. What happened in the news this week? I don't remember. Let's find out together. That is 8 days ago. This is okay. The hell's going on? That could have been train music. That's the official train music from now on.
It's a
All right, that's
funky
enough of that.
train. I'd ride this train.
Platinum Games, who creates
Sorry. Oh, Platinum, creator of Bayonetta.
Bayonetta.
That's exactly what we're talking about.
Vanquish.
Sure.
Also Vanquish.
Okami, when
Formerly
before
known as
they
Clover
were-
Studios. Yeah. Beautiful Joe, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Blah blah.
Henshin
blah.
a go go, baby.
Henshin a go
Go-go.
go, baby. Thank you.
They did an interview discussing among a whole bunch of things how Bayonetta Origins came to be. Turns out that they talked with Nintendo and Nintendo suggested the idea. So Platinum reveals that they had to
Beautiful
talk
Joe
about
was not hot enough, and Bayonetta was.
well, Capcom owns Beautiful Joe, so they can't do anything. They were talking about what to do next for Bayonetta. And they were like, we want to do something more with the Bayonetta franchise, but what? And Nintendo was like, hey, how about you do something where you explore what happened with Bayonetta years ago, like long before she's the Bayonetta that we knew? And Hideki Kamiya at Platinum was like, a long time ago, I had an idea where I wanted to do some sort of spin-off title where I explored like what happened in Bayonetta's past. And I think this is the perfect time for that. And Nintendo's like, yeah, we're all about it. We'll publish that baby. So they set out to make it, which is pretty awesome. So we can thank Nintendo for before even Origins or before even Platinum was like, we want to do this. Nintendo's like, hey, do this. And Platinum's like, yeah, of course we'll do it. So Nintendo's not just like, we give you the money, you do whatever. They're actively interested and engaged in the development of the Bayonetta franchise, which is pretty awesome. Kamiya also talked about things that were he says not seriously considered for the Bayonetta franchise, but they are discussed and at length discussed among developers at Platinum. Hideki Kamiya in general specifically says he talked about how he wants to do a spin-off with Jean, where Jean's the main character. But he's like, we've never had serious discussions, but it's an idea I've had. And he says, no, not that Jean. That's No More Heroes Jean. Jean is a human. Or I guess not a human. Sorry. And the other Platinum developers said that they wanted to do a Bayonetta fighting game, and they were like, "Who could be in the Bayonetta fighting game? And what would they do? And how would that work?"
Doesn't Bayonetta fight in her games?
Yeah,
I know what you mean. You're talking about the genre.
Yeah,
I'm being a troll. I'm being a real
David
DJ
Jaffe,
over
yeah.
here.
So he says again, not seriously discussed. This is just something
Jaffe.
the team likes to discuss when they're just having fun. And he's like, they get into some really deep conversations about it, but we're not doing a Bayonetta fighting game. He says now, but who knows what happens down the road.
Wait till he sees the dump truck full of money that rolls up to his house.
I think it's too niche for Nintendo to be like, we'll greenlight that. Because like people know about Bayonetta, it's a million seller, but I don't know how many million people are how many of that million are going to buy a fighting game for Bayonetta.
Just put her in Smash Brothers.
She is.
Again.
There you go. They did it.
I will accept my check anytime, Nintendo, for that
I'd like
idea.
to be paid for this retroactive idea.
Put her in more. She should be every character.
You should also create a plumber that is a jumper.
Smash Brothers announcer. What do you
Mediterranean?
What do you think of Bayonetta being in Smash Brothers?
I fight for my friends.
All right, that's not the announcer.
Wow!
There we go. Entropy says,
Made
kind
us
of knew
wait for it.
Nintendo was in on this one, which is good. It's a great game. The Genes spinoff isn't new either, and I wouldn't be surprised if it would be the next game, even while, of course, they work on the 4th installment of the mainline series. Don't think I want a Bayonetta fighting game, though. There you go. And then the next comment says, I'll say their name, Mega Derek says, I would love a Bayonetta fighting game. The
Holy cow! People have different opinions.
yeah.
But
the,
which one is truth?
what do you call that?
Discourse.
No, like one
Turn of
one
phrase.
the one example followed by the next example, like the two extremes. But
First
there's a
peak,
thing.
then
There's a
repeat.
phrase I'm looking
No.
for.
The disparity.
The dichotomy.
Dichotomy.
Oh,
Thank
okay.
you. That's it. There you go. Dichotomy summed up in 2 comments. Hey guys, a Japanese man got arrested. You want to hear about it?
No.
Only if it has to do with some sort of plagiarism or downloading an illegal game and using it.
It doesn't.
Well, tell me anyway, because that's what I
Thank
thought it was
you.
going to be.
All right. So this is the first
Make
time.
it into that.
This is the first time this has ever happened in Japan. I want to say it's the first time it's ever happened anywhere.
This must have been real bad, right?
Mm.
Real
Well,
bad.
this is what we're going to discuss.
So bad.
There's a game. All right. Since I'm a weeb, let me go right into it. There's an anime called Steins Gate.
Anime.
It's an
Notice me,
anime
senpai.
about time
Notice
travel.
me.
I've only seen the original Steins Gate. I give it a chef's kiss. Wonderful. Did you watch Steins Gate? It's about the guy that time travels by, and you always talk about how you have a great thing where you say anime is weird, and I agree, anime is weird. When you watch it, you're not thinking it's weird. You're just involved. But this is about a man who time
When you explain
travels
it to anybody,
and he finds out time traveling
realize it's
by
weird.
by putting bananas in a microwave and they disappear.
Of course.
So your
So, there you
father
go.
could time
That's
travel
right.
if only
His
were cars.
car
Loves
is a
loves
time
a hot
traveling
banana.
device
that
because
man had. I don't know if he does anymore, but
You don't
he's-
eat your bananas?
He had so many dried out,
Easier to eat that way. They're
petrified
so hard.
banana peels. In his
I should
car.
call him right now
Oh,
because
God,
as we know,
so nasty.
my dad's a big
Ugh.
anime fan now. So I
But
should
now
tell
that
him
your
not to-
parents share
Wait,
one car, I bet he
Is
does.
he a
Big
big
weeb.
banana fan?
Oh,
ring, 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 ring. Banana May.
banana man. Makes me think of banana
Power
man.
of God and banana may on my side.
So good. Anyway, Steins
Why
Gate.
didn't they? I mean, Banana May would be a much better name than Steins.
If there's an anime about bananas, which I'm sure there is more than Steins Gate
Steins
is.
Gate is giving me
call it Banana
Steinmart
May.
and
There's a
Shadowgate
banana May
vibes.
about
So it's an anime about time travel. Very awesome. I suggest checking. All I can recommend is the first one because that's all I've seen. It was great. But they made a whole bunch of games to expand the story, and apparently they are very good. The games, which are visual
game?
novels, are made by Kadokawa. They've done a whole bunch of them. There's a guy in Japan, 52 years old, who has been
The crime,
recording
right.
videos of these games and putting them on YouTube.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, it was on YouTube specifically.
Hmm.
And he's been monetizing these videos. Kadokawa is one of the companies that has very strict rules where they don't want their games are narrative visual novels. So all you get is story.
What rules, you sons
They
of
say, I don't believe they restrict footage of everything, but they're like, don't put the endings online
Yeah, sure.
because that ruins it. This guy put the endings online for some of the
Ugh.
Steins Gate games
When they
Oh.
specifically asked him not to.
and
he's a regular
monetized-
mommy.
So annoying.
and monetized, right? A real
Spoiler.
share.
She
And-
wouldn't monetize it. She does it for the love of the game.
That's right. Puts puts the or monetizes them and makes money. So anyway,
Is that what
this
they-
man was arrested
he
for this.
monetizes them.
First time. Japan's Content Overseas Distribution Association, along with rights holder Kadokawa, work together, and this man is arrested. The suspect has since stated that he
JK.
knew uploading the videos was illegal. In his statement, he says, "JK, LOL." The man reportedly
Texted
tried
his testimony.
self-described banana May fan. So yeah, the guy got arrested. Now we don't know his sentence or anything like that.
That is a sentence.
So arrested for uploading footage from a game. Now Kadokawa says don't do it, but it's not like there's a law that says don't do it. They say don't do it and don't monetize it. The guy did both. The guy is arrested.
by Kadokawa.
How you feel? How do you guys feel about this?
Well, what law did he break? I would like to know that.
This is filed under
Now,
copyright
this is in
infringement.
Japan, correct?
Yes.
So we don't know what laws.
They're saying the arrest is for copyright infringement.
They infringed their copyright. He
I
infringed
mean,
their
I
copyright.
find it hard to believe that there aren't thousands of millions of people out there who are doing just this with every
There-
game ever.
There are, but Katakawa is one of the companies who very
He
specifically
texted
and publicly says, "Do not do it for our endings and do not monetize it." And,
and
he
we
did
are
both
not
of those things.
JK.
So they can say he did it.
We will not
We
LOL.
He did
we
not, just
clearly
kidding.
state don't do it, and he did it.
Okay,
So,
well,
So why not just like
does that change the copyright law? No, but it
Can
means
we,
they'll,
like,
it means they'll spend more money on
stop his channel,
on
demonetize
pressing
him,
it,
or
you know,
whatever?
and on
Like,
lawyers and whatnot.
well, yeah, there's a whole bunch of like interesting things to discuss here.
Is there any precedent in Japan for
This is
sort
the
of
first man arrested for
Then-
this. Not
then-
obviously for copyright infringement, but for this way of getting
There was a big copyright case here in the U.S. I wonder if they'll mention it.
So yeah, it's the question is this copyright infringement, or is this just the guy doing something the company said don't do,
Mm.
which wasn't illegal, but the company said don't do it. But the company believes they're saying don't do it, and it falls under copyright infringement. So it's going to be an interesting case to follow.
I'm gonna Google Japanese Supreme Court and see what happens.
I'm going to Google Bananime and see what happens. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but the guy knew the company didn't want them to do it. He knew he shouldn't do it and admitted it.
Actual malice.
So can Katakawa get him on copyright infringement? I don't know that. Now, should this man
But
go?
yes.
Should this man serve prison time?
Definitely. Oh my God, copyright infringers.
Yeah, I don't think he should. A fine,
He's
certainly.
not-
I
he's
don't
not a
think he should
danger
go
to
to
society.
jail.
He needs to
Yeah,
be-
You know,
Yeah.
there's no.
He needs to be gibbeted.
yeah. Get him by his gibbets and pull out his giblets. Yeah, I don't think the guy should
Maybe
go to
someone's
jail.
got
So
a
if he
gibbet of a
does
gibbet.
end up going to jail for it, I'm going to feel horrible.
No.
But I do think there should be
No.
some repercussions. I think a fine is
Fine.
Yeah, I'd
70,
be-
70 trillion yen, which is like $50.
$50. Yeah. Whenever I'm writing stories and I do the conversions, I'm always like, this is crazy because it's like 204,000 yen, and I'm like, I got that in my wallet right now. Hawk says, is there something special about the Steins Gate series, or is it just the rights holder is especially litigious? Well, it's special to them because they own the rights for the games, but also, as I said, all the games are visual novels. They're narrative focused. So if you're showing how the story ends, you're showing the whole point of the game. It's not like there's traditional gameplay. The gameplay is going through the story. So
It would be tough to prove that they've faced damages because of it, or that they would face damages because of it. That would
That's
be
what
very-
they
that'd be
also
very-
have to
it'd be
prove,
very
yes.
difficult to prove.
So this is going to
They
be
have to say that the structure and the composition of their games is different than other ones, which many people have many millions of hours of
Yeah.
footage online. So it's gonna be hard to do.
there's a lot of angles that it has to be tackled from, and I don't know what's going to happen. And you're right, the same case going on in the U.S. is a very interesting one to follow. There's two very important copyright cases going on now, and it could impact
You
everybody.
talking about the Warhol case?
That's what I thought we were talking about.
Yeah. Well, the decision came out last week.
Oh, did it? What was it?
They ruled in favor of the Warhol Foundation.
I did not know that, man.
Yeah.
I followed the case and didn't see the end. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
Yeah, last week.
So then there could potentially be a lot of changes then.
Yeah. So that it was. I hope I'm getting this right. That it was fair use of that photo.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm sure a whole bunch of like stuff is going to follow up after
This
that.
is
but-
clearly on record now, so I'm going to double check.
Well, as you do, let me move from one legal case to another. Nintendo's being sued by a young boy, by the father. So the father of the young boy said, yes, I will help you sue Nintendo over Mario Kart Tour, because Mario Kart Tour offers, quote,
Oh my God.
immoral microtransactions, end quote. Or I should do this, quote, immoral, end quote, microtransactions.
Sorry, I was mistaken.
Oh.
AWF's use, so that's the Andy Warhol Foundation's
Yes.
use of Goldsmith's photograph was not protected by fair use.
Oh,
As the work shared a
okay.
similar purpose in the depiction of prints and magazine articles in the commercial
that's
nature of the
even
product.
worse.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, 7-2 last Thursday.
Really?
Court ruled Andy Warhol infringed on photographer Lynn Goldsmith copyright when he
Oh, you're
created
not
a series of
saying-
silkscreen images based on a photograph
Really?
Goldsmith shot of Prince in 1981. Sorry, I was
That's
wrong.
okay. Thank you for
Alex Minow was
correcting.
wrong. Yeah.
We're not. Oh, by the way, you're right. I was supposed to
Goldsmith.
correct something. I did a story last week about Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom being in the top 10 all-time debuts in Japan. It was, but I
That is
misspoke.
not
The
cool.
number 2.2 million included digital and physical. I said it was physical only. I correct that statement. It was both combined. So there you go. But the record and the number were correct. Anyway, Nintendo getting sued for Mario Kart Tour over immoral transactions. Because not surprisingly,
It's
the
called
father,
a spiny shell. Get over it.
the father of this kid was like, "What the hell is this credit card bill?"
Oh,
and found
yeah.
out his son racked up $170 worth of microtransactions in Mario Kart Tour. So
I've seen cases where kids have spent more.
yeah, it's hard for me to say this because I always want to. I'm always like, shouldn't
we
you be
not-
paying closer attention
Yeah,
to what
do
the
we
kid's
not
doing with
know
your
by
credit
now that
card?
this
But
is a
things can-
thing?
I don't have a kid,
Yeah,
so
you upload it and you forget that it's associated to an account, and
yeah.
I doubt the kid had like the physical card,
Yeah.
We never do it anymore either unless we're face to face.
How much are
Anything
they
that's digital
suing
is going to
for?
be saved.
$170.
It doesn't say.
Right?
The lawsuit alleges that Mario Kart Tour uses quote dark patterns. Dark patterns is an industry term
Racist.
for how buttons are color coded to make your mind think this is the one I should touch because that's the correct
Really?
one, and other such
So,
things.
like,
Yes,
Jedi mind tricks.
and how purchases should need to be a button held down or a finger held down for a certain amount of time rather than a click and
thanks.
then click again and then it's good. So
You
those
gotta
are
double
considered
tap
dark
your
patterns.
your button on the iPhone.
Well, it's like what Fortnite went through, and they lost that for supposed dark patterns, and they had to change to now you hold the button down for 3 seconds to make the purchase, and you can still the next screen is like, "Are you sure?" So, whether or I'm sure all these companies use quote unquote dark patterns because they're playing to your mind to entice you to be like, this pretty light colored button here is the right way to go, and not this grayed out button. You don't want that. So, it is what it is. Is this guy? And Nintendo has been through this lawsuit multiple times with Mario Tour and a Mario Kart Tour, and they've lost every single, or they've won every single one. I'm guessing this is going to go the same way. Maybe the guy will win the money back, or I think the guy got the money back actually. But we'll see what happens. So Nintendo in court again. I can't think of a single time Nintendo's lost a case. I can think when they've lost, appealed, and won the appeal. So we'll see what happens here. Jake A says, I'm not entirely familiar with how microtransactions work in Mario Kart Tour, but I'm generally not a fan of them in mobile games. Mario Kart is a game that appeals to a wide audience, and kids are included in that. Kids shouldn't be exposed to this sort of business practice. That being said, parents do need to take responsibility and make sure that their children can't make purchases without their permission. I also realize these stories are probably uncommon. When you look at the big picture, they just tend to make news when they happen. So I assume the parents are responsible. Well, Jake, congratulations. Thank you for finding GoNintendo and leaving a sensible comment on the story, because I'm very lucky to have commenters like
Well,
you.
yeah, for instance, Amazon Prime, if you're in a kid's account, you can't make purchases. You need to be in an adult's account to make purchases. So maybe kid account, adult account.
There you
could
go.
be an easy
There
way
you
to
go.
do that.
Spoken by a father, so you would know.
Hmm.
You have to go to those weekly dad meetings. I'm sure
You
that
know how
happen.
many train videos are on there?
I put those together actually. Moving on, Sony and Nintendo. I talked about Sony earlier today, and let's talk about it more. This is so good. You know how I always say Sony is so full of themselves and they're a little sneaky and slimy? Perfect example right here. Sony, as you might remember, Nintendo just did their latest yearly fiscal report. Now Sony has put theirs out, and it had a whole bunch of stuff that's rah Sony. And of course, if you're not going to be your own cheerleader, then who is? So in this report, they had a page that said the strongest gaming brand, and they had leading category momentum, and it was a chart, and it has 3 lines. The lines were called the blue line is PlayStation, the red line is brand B,
What?
and the green line is brand C. Well, I can't
Red
imagine
and
who
green.
those
I
other
wonder who
colors
those
are.
could be.
So they show these lines of social media tracking, where they show on a scale of, let's say, 80 to 30, Sony, when was this? Fiscal year 2018, they were at a 63, and they shot all the way up to a 73 at fiscal year 2020, the launch of the PS3, and they've been trending in the mid to upper 60s ever since. They are the leading gaming brand as far as momentum's concerned online. Oh, I'm sorry, not Nintendo. Brand B has been in the mid 50s range
Nintendo.
for since 2018. They've been pretty much flat since 2018. And brand C, Microsoft. Oh, that sounds terrible.
Should workshop this. It's a soft C.
Microsoft. They've been in the 40s. They've been in the mid 40s for the last 4 years. Oh no, not that. They've been in the mid 40s ever since as well. So Microsoft not doing well either. So everybody's like, what does this mean? What social media platforms are you looking at? How are you gauging engagement? Is this tweets? Is this likes? Is this people
That
just
was a
talking
question
about
I
it in
had, and I
general?
just thought that like
It's momentum,
you had talked about
obviously.
it, and I wasn't listening. Or
Nope. How is all this determined? Well, don't worry, guys. Sony revealed how they track this. They teamed with the prestigious data tracker Sony Interactive Entertainment Global Brand Tracker of Brand Momentum. So Sony said, "Don't worry, guys. We teamed with ourselves and we found we're the best."
That's amazing.
How unbelievable is this? And how did they get to the numbers? Didn't
This
say.
is so great.
They didn't say.
This is like something like Trump would show to a reporter and be like, "No, see here, it
How
says
good.
we're up."
This
You know,
line-
Like the
going up.
what was it, the hurricane line that he drew where he took the Sharpie on it?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So yeah, I just can't believe.
Oh.
Yes, if you zoom in on the actual slide, the bottom tells you that it came from, again, the report was handled by Sony Interactive Entertainment Global Brand Tracker of Brand Momentum, and we have no idea how they tracked it. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Truth Social, Kick.
blast processing.
Yeah, no, we have no idea. We have no idea. And really, what does it mean in the grand scheme of things? Nothing. But Sony can show this to people, and some analysts and investors will be like, "Oh, well, that line's clearly higher than the other one, so you're the best. You're the best, Sony. You did it as determined by yourself."
Undefeated chart-making champs.
Currybo has the most upvoted comments, so that means you guys like this one. Multiple successful theme parks, one of the best performing movies of all time, one of the best performing consoles of all time, several game titles that are bestsellers, all later than 2018. Yeah, sure thing, Sony. Yes, even like Nintendo fanboys could be like, this isn't true. Nintendo has millions of sellers, blah, blah, blah. But from 2018 onwards, we have definitive proof of the Switch selling over 122 million units. The Mario movie being the third highest grossing animated movie of all time.
Right?
Now it could still go higher. Yeah, it made 1.2 something billion.
Gold coins.
And it just surpassed The Incredibles, which was The Incredibles 2, which was the previous third highest grossing.
Really?
So now it has
Surprised.
Frozen and Frozen 2. Frozen was at 1.286.
Yeah.
Mario needs like maybe a couple weeks and it could beat it.
Wow.
So
Well, movies don't stay in the theater.
it is the highest grossing movie in Mexico ever. Any movie that is ever released in Mexico, the Mario movie
Is there a
has
special
surpassed
Mario in Mexico connection?
it. I guess he's popular there. I don't know.
I need a chart.
I'll get Sony on it right away. Yeah, so like
Mario's
it's just,
Mexico momentum.
it's-
I mean, the chart writes itself.
this whole chart from Sony is crazy in general, but for Sony to put this chart out now, yeah, for Sony to put this chart out now in all times when we can track Nintendo's most successful like last few years, or Nintendo's incredibly successful last few years, their multiple franchises have seen their best-selling installments for Nintendo of all time. Like, it's just crazy.
It's a classic thing that you see across the board, not just for video games, obviously. For anything where there's news involved, they're just taking a chance that people aren't going to check their work. And 9 times out of 10, sadly, people are not going to. And they're going to be like,
Yeah.
well, I saw this chart and it clearly showed
Yeah.
blue was the best.
Here it is in green, blue, and
Yeah,
red.
and they're just
people.
like, and they're not going to like dive in if they don't already know that like
Yeah.
Nintendo's on top of the world.
Yeah. It's like
People read
oh,
horizontally, not vertically.
It was, yep, that's very true. I can attest. Oh, that is a perfect time for me to jump in. You're giving me great segues. I want to again what's a better term that doesn't sound sexual?
Bananime?
I was going to say full-throatedly, but I don't like that. Wholeheartedly,
Definitely
full
don't,
voice.
Don't say
wholeheartedly,
Fully
and that's
voiced.
HOLE.
full buttily.
I want to say again, I said this very quickly last
Full
week, but now I have more information. I want to say to you guys that support the site. So you're on GoNintendo itself, or you go to YouTube, or you go to Twitter, or you are on the Patreon, any of those things. Thank you
Stop it.
so much. I'm trying. I got emotional last week. You guys know GoNintendo went away for a while, and we came back, and it's been like a little bit over a year. The traffic is now officially over where we were when GoNintendo took its break.
Amazing.
So thank you so much. It's been insane. I can't believe it. I was telling MomBrain about it earlier
Comeback
this week,
story.
and I like fell apart while I was talking about it. In a good way, fell apart when I was talking about it, because it's just,
But
you know,
like,
and a big thank you goes to everybody involved with that. So that includes all the staff. That includes the writers that are writing features for us now. That includes the news people, Quince, who is covering the site so I can do the podcast. Not to name, I'm only naming him specifically because he's literally doing it today. But all the news people, all the features writers, they've been absolutely invaluable, and they care about Nintendo and games and GoNintendo just as much as you guys do. So thank you to all of them. It's been great. MomBrain gets to see me now, and we do stuff, and now I spend part of my stupid day walking outside and getting healthy thanks to you guys. So thank you. I really do appreciate
This
it.
thank you was going so well.
I started thinking about what I'm doing with the free time. I'm outside finding dead birds and
a lot of
dogs
thank yous
biting
have
my
stupid in
jacket.
it. You
and-
really worked that in there. Proud,
Thank you.
proud of you.
So thank you. Moving on to
Did you
Jew.
s-
I'm sorry, and
Did you see what
yeah.
Zikamuto put?
no, I didn't.
It's
President
Obama
Obama
giving
giving himself.
Obama, but it's Sony doing it. That is a
That's
brilliant meme.
That's good. Hi, Steister. Didn't say that. I didn't see you in there. Gotta say,
Moving
oh,
on.
Steister. Steister says, gotta say, I finally started watching Spy X Family, and after this week after RMC's recommendation, so far so good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Give the praise to MomBrain, because she's the one that finished the first season, and I would say really liked it, maybe loved it.
Yeah, I loved it.
My mom loves it. My aunt loves it. MomBrain. It's very popular. So also, oh God, now you're making me want to talk about anime. That's beginning of the show stuff.
Bananime, please.
Bananime.
Sorry, right.
I'm continuing. Oh, I wrote a little bit about it. I wrote a little bit about it on Patreon. Oshi Kono. I'm up to date on Oshinoko. Man, is that show blowing my mind? That's such a good
Yashinoko.
show. That's such a good show.
Orinoco.
I'll talk about it a little bit in the after show. I won't do that. Hi, Blinded by Daylight. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Well, your friends are back, Blinded. And hi, PC. Everybody's here. PC took time away from cheating in Zelda to come talk to
Oh
us.
no, was she doing that? The infinite glitch?
Said I was gonna. She can't anymore, baby. They patched it
That's
out. I
right.
think there's another one already, but whatever.
Ugh.
Let me get back to news. PC, feel free to harass me, and I'll read your
PC
comments.
is hanging out with JTS.
Oh,
actually.
hello, JTS. Everybody's here. What a day. Do I'm sorry. R-Type, get excited. We
Hey.
have Pokemon news. This is nuts. So Pokemon's popular. It's been popular since it first came out. But
It is nuts. Trust me.
we are seeing the next wave of insanity for Pokemon. We've known for a long time that Pokemon is still very popular, and Pokemon cards are selling out left and right. Like
Wait, they're still making Pokemon stuff? That's weird. I
They
didn't-
are.
Kids have binders of
But,
Pokemon
like,
cards at school,
that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
not like Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards has always been popular.
but they're not
right
playing.
now is they're just collecting. Right
They
now
just
is
collect
the
them.
renaissance of Pokemon
Yeah,
cards. They
the-
are killing it.
The card grading services,
Yes.
like in case
Yes.
Charizard tops Jordan, Charizard
Yeah.
tops LeBron every week.
And that would be in real life too.
Yeah, it's tracking. Yeah, for sure.
He's on fire. So the newest
Oh, I
thing
get it.
in
Charizard
'cause he's
specifically.
Charizard
That's
and
the card.
basketball. The newest thing in the Pokemon trading card game in Japan is these are not playable cards, by the way. You can't use these in a standard deck of Pokemon cards. These are just collectible trading cards
What's wrong with
featuring artwork from Yu Nagaba, who is an artist in Japan. He's a very unique style, and Pokemon
Ooh.
Company teamed up with him to do a set of Eevee cards.
you? Mhm.
And you can only get the cards by going to Pokemon Center locations in Japan, and you have to spend it's like $7 or something, and you get on any other merch, and you get a random Eevee card. Now this collaboration has other products with his designs on them too, but the cards are $7. You get a random card. Well, it just launched. Stores are out of stock instantly. And I've seen tons of tweets about it. It's nuts. You guys should go to the article and see. Like, it's like people going and saying, grabbing everything out of a basket as soon as it's there. Like,
They don't even know what they're grabbing.
they
It's all
don't care.
random.
They just know they're getting one. That's all that it is. Videos and videos and videos are like this over and over and over again. It's pandemonium. It's pandemonium. Like I said,
It's like seeing the apes when they drop all the fruit in there and they like go in there and they like try to kill each other to get the fruit.
you're right. People are throwing feces at each other when they're getting these things.
Didn't that happen on Black Friday one year?
Feces Friday?
Throwing feces.
That's why it's
Throwing
called Black
feces?
Friday.
Brown Friday.
Brown
You get that
Friday,
looked
yeah.
at.
So it's crazy. So obviously, these are going to be very, very valuable.
About to get Brown
And
Friday.
people are already turning around to sell these online, but it's nuts. I can believe it, but
Oh, yeah.
it's still Pokemon Go again. Pokemon. There's never been a time where Pokemon's not popular. It's just popular or insanely popular, and we're in the insanely popular right now.
The card game is nuts. The prices across the board on
Yeah.
anything. Randoms, baseball always, but yeah.
Logan Paul owns one of those cards, and he wears it around his neck
Yeah.
and the neck.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
worth
yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah.
$1
That's
million.
That's right.
Yeah,
I have cards the
For $1.
pandemic did that, and it hasn't come back down. I have
nuts,
some that
man.
like quadrupled in value, not Pokemon cards, but cards. graded
speaking of
cards.
cards, Mom
Garbage
just
Pail
went
Kids.
through her dad.
those are huge.
Are
They're
they?
light, yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Mom-
telling you, anything, especially vintage.
Did you know they just released a Garbage Pail Kids game?
No.
So they released a Garbage Pail Kids game that looks like an NES game,
Okay.
and they sold it with the story of it being a Garbage Pail Kids game that was canceled because it was too gross, and Nintendo wouldn't allow
That's
them
a
to
great
launch it.
backstory. That is a great backstory.
I played it.
So gross.
They did an excellent job of legitimately making it feel like a licensed NES game
Yeah.
from back at the time. So
So
it's
it's terrible.
fun.
So it's awful.
No, it's fun, but it's a little wonky,
It makes
and the
no
graphics
sense
are a
at
little
all.
strange.
Yeah.
They nailed that sweet spot perfectly.
That's
It's
wow.
really good. So
That's
if you're into
very
Garbage
niche.
Pail Kids, check that out. They released. You can get a physical version of it too in a faux NES box, and it comes with a documentary of the whole thing.
And it plays
Really
in
good,
your
really good.
NES. Like
yeah,
if you
it plays
do that
on the
one?
NES. It is.
But you
I
paid
have it
for
on
like
the
a
Switch.
digital
Do you have to
copy
get
or
that aftermarket,
oh, it's
or
an
do you get it right
actual
from them?
thing that you get on the Switch. It's not.
Yeah,
like
you can
the-
download it on the eShop right now. What's that?
So do you have to get that on secondary market, or you can buy that directly?
No, it's direct. I don't remember if it's limited run games or not. I think it is. But yeah, it's a direct physical cartridge. You know what? I think you can play it on the NES.
Well, was
I
gonna
know it
say,
comes with a
how
cartridge.
How could you if it's a Switch game?
Oh, they just released it on the eShop on Switch. But
Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Mike.
There are
and the
games that
Quest for
come out-
Stale Gum.
there you go. There are games that come out all the time that are
That's great.
released digitally on multiple platforms,
Oh,
but
well, it's going
can
for
be
$150.
can be
on eBay,
played
so-
on your NES. Like there's a company that's sending me a new Game Boy game that they're sending me the physical Game Boy cartridge, but it's also releasing for Switch. So
Wow.
That's so cool.
it is awesome. They're doing a Kickstarter. I talked about the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
The game looks great. They're sending me a prototype of it. I'm very excited to play. They were like, "Do you have a Game Boy to play it? Because we can send you a Game Boy." I was like, "Oh no, I have a Game Boy. I have a Pocket
Wait,
and
they
an
can
original."
Send you a Game Boy?
Well, they are sending me a physical
Yes,
prototype of.
yeah.
No, they were like, "Do you need a Game Boy to play?" And I said,
Yes.
"No,
I'm sure one of my friends needs one.
nobody needs a Game Boy."
How cool would it be to have like a brand new
Well,
Game Boy?
you guys run a website, and then when somebody asks you if you need one, say you do when you don't. You don't need one.
Glenn, lie to the
I have
people.
right.
Make lies.
I had a company. They were like,
But
"Do
I
you
would
wanna-"
need one in that case. I mean, I just
You
I
would
wouldn't be able to
yes,
get there.
You
though.
would. Planet of Lana is a game I really want to play. And a month ago, the company got in touch and they were like, "Do you want to review Planet of Lana?" It's not coming to Switch yet. I don't know if it's going to. It's only Xbox right now.
Is it coming to green or blue?
Yes,
or
Planet
red?
of Lana is coming to green. And they were like, "Do you want to play it?" I desperately wanted to play it, but I'm not going to review it for the site. So I said, "No, I wanted to play it."
Yeah, that's different. We're talking about a brand new Game Boy. They don't even
They didn't
make
say
those
anything about it
anymore.
being brand new. And I would still say no, but they just said, "Do you want a Game Boy?"
That'd be awesome. Yes. Next time, yes is the answer. I don't know. I'm just
Next
saying.
time, no. Only if I don't already have what it is, and it prevents me from reviewing something, then yes, I'll take it. But
it's amazing how many people out there, like little kids, probably need a Game Boy who don't have one, and you could have given one on the podcast away, but instead you chose to be selfish.
When was the last time you used the Game Boy you have? Like, what if it doesn't work?
Yeah,
the last time I used a Game Boy,
for backup Game Boys.
I
he's
just
got 'em.
played Drill Dozer
I
like
think
a
I still
couple
have
weeks
two- I think
ago.
I still have 2 of yours.
Uh,
Or DS, sorry.
anyway, games that are coming to Switch and not the Game Boy. Let me tell you, Fitness Circuit yesterday came out. A Western drama.
Oh.
It's gonna be trains.
A
And
Kaito
Grip
HD.
drama.
Aishiro
Are you okay?
HD remaster. I'm trying. How would you pronounce AOISHIRO?
I wouldn't.
Okay. Arcade Archives Arc Area. Bat Boy. It's not about the National Enquirer Bat Boy.
It's
I'm
about
sorry.
baseball.
No.
You're
Guys,
the Bat Boy.
I
You
haven't
only pick
finished
up the
Bat
bat.
Boy yet. If you are into Mega Man style games
I am.
that have retro style
I
graphics,
am.
and I can't stress this enough, a killer soundtrack. This is the guy I wrote about on Patreon last night.
Mm.
Soundtrack is amazing. The composer's name is Evader. Look up Evader on SoundCloud. Killer stuff.
Vader
Really good.
Holyfield.
Check out this game, Bat Boy. Great game. It was a crowdfunded game, so
Darth
this is its
Vader.
release. I loved what I played so far. You would really like it.
I love Mega Man. games.
Bee in the Valley. That's BEE. Blacksmith Hit.
Black Snake Hit Moan.
Bubble Bird. Cassette Beasts, which is a Pokemon-ish style game. Chasm, the
Whoa,
Rift.
what's Pokemon-ish?
So it has fighting monsters, but they're not handled in exactly the same way. as
They
Pokemon.
go into small cubes instead of small orbs.
It's related to cassettes actually.
Oh, that's
Like
kind of cool.
It is a cool idea.
Those are some of my favorite Transformers.
Chasm the Rift. Chronicles of Two
what is that,
Heroes.
Soundwave?
Amaratsu's Wrath.
Soundwave.
Coloring
was a
Pixels
stereo.
Collection 3.
He was.
Yeah.
How
End
bad
of
was that?
Lines.
I forgot
Fantasy
how rad
Tower
he was.
Defense. Fights in Tight Spaces.
Cutting edge technology.
Oh,
Finally in love
What do they call
again.
him? Booming Box. Boom Box.
Hello,
Baby.
good boy.
Hello, good boy.
Autobots roll out. Boomy Box,
It's the
you
sequel
stay
to Goodbye,
behind.
Bad Boy. Can you rewind to Hello?
It's
Good
about
Boy,
it's about
please?
an animal, I think. it's a
Oh,
cat.
That's less funny.
It's a sequel to See You Later, Jerk.
Speaking of speaking of cats that aren't cats, Hello Kitty and Friends Happiness Paradise.
Hello, good kitty.
Home Sweet Home. Hush Hush. Johnny Trigger. Laser Pitium. Oh my god. Oh, this is gonna be a spoiler, isn't it? Oh, it doesn't matter. I can look at these
Is it about
spoilers.
Hello, good boy?
Good boy.
We have our world
Hello,
heavyweight
good boy.
champion. Don't say it. You know who it is. It's at Night of Champions, and
HGB.
between the
In-
guy you don't like and the guy you like and the guy you like
in
won. He's the
Saudi
world, the
Arabia?
first world
Caillou?
heavyweight champion. Yeah,
Oh, it happened.
that
already?
is all. It's going on live
Oh,
right now.
yeah.
It's the one pay per view or the one premium live event I
It's
don't
in
watch
Jeddah?
because of where it is.
I understand.
I abstain.
I understand.
But I will gladly read the
But I
news.
will
So
put
good
it
for
in
him.
my car.
Maquette, award-winning puzzle game exclusive to PS5 now on
Spaghetti?
Switch or PS4 and PS5. Spaghetti. Marlin's Mystery: The Dark Side of Crime.
Marlon Wayne's is mystery.
No.
The dark side of crime.
How does this guy keep getting
All
work?
crime is the dark side?
Well,
Turns out
Move
there's
a
a dark
win.
When you
side.
say the dark side of crying,
Dark Side of Crime.
well, crime is all the dark side.
Move the Pin.
Like real
Classic
bad
logic
crime.
puzzle.
Like copyright crime is that on the dark side?
That's
is that on
true.
the light side of crime?
Let's do some crimes.
Like
White
crime.
collar crime is
Oh.
literally light.
And now
Mystic.
dark
Oh,
collar-
that's true.
Dark collar crime is the third variety.
Mystical
White
mixing.
collar, blue collar, and dark collar.
Mythargia.
Yeah, it's about being tired.
Onigo Hunter.
Inigo Montoya.
P.I.
Hunter.
EXE. Pulling No Punches. Puzzle by Nikolai S. Numberlink. It's a puzzle game. Replicator. Rena Rhythm Error. Rubber.
Makings- Forklift operator simulator.
That
3.
your timing on that is impeccable. It either just came out a
That's what I'm-
forklift
that's what
game
I'm here
or
for.
I got to look that up.
That's what our chat's here
Uh,
for. Just waiting for his moment.
Let me get through this and I'll look it up. Santa's Monster Shootout.
Santa's coming to town.
Rubber Duck Wave Racer. Serene Hike. Sky Tales.
Is Serene Hike a simulator? You just go for a nice hike.
I don't know what
When you can
that
just leave
is.
Your house.
Smash Out. Spectrolight.
Smash out.
Star Gagnant. Star Gagnant was play tested by none other than
Agua.
Master Higgins himself.
Oh.
Master Higgins
eater?
So Master Higgins
The
is
guy
a
with the
real
green
guy,
diaper.
and in real life, he's known for being able to press a button incredibly quickly. They
As
timed him.
quick as his legs move.
That's a perfect way to put it. And he tested this new shooting game and was involved with development. So there you go. If you're an old gamer like I am, maybe you'll appreciate it.
Right there. 'Cause-
It is a live mic.
Yeah,
Yes,
maybe.
that's true.
Sorry, I'm fidgeting.
Sudoku, casual board game. Super Knight Riders, Terracotta, The Blind Prophet, The Case of the Golden Idol, the Tartatus Key,
Watch your mouth.
Theft Ride
Tartarus?
Legacy. To hell with the ugly. That's
Wow.
what it's called.
Death to all of them.
To the rescue. Clap if they should suffer. True Disc Golf. Undead Horde 2,
Disc golf
Necropolis.
video game. I want to see that.
Vaccine Rebirth.
Whoa, I don't want to.
Waifu Space Conquest.
Waifu Space Conquest.
And welcome to Kokori-san.
I have to look that up.
Welcome.
There's so
I'm doing
much
my
hentai on the
private
Switch eShop.
I'm doing my private browser.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Good call.
Do you mind taking the reins on the next one?
Not at all.
Thank you so much.
It's time for European Switch eShop releases for the week of May 25th, the year of our Lord 2023. Do Michael's here, filling in for the esteemed Nikki Hill. Nikki Hill, we speak your name.
Hold tight 1 second, my friend.
Holding.
Holding tight.
Oh my God, no way. Is it? You're reading it. Just go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
don't even have to do it.
Farming Simulator 23,
Kirby,
Nintendo
pay-
Switch Edition.
Or I'm sorry, not Kirby. R-Type, pay close attention to this list of games because
Okay,
you'll hear
okay.
something that'll perk your ears.
Fitness Circuit, Puzzle Bobble Every Bubble, a Kaito HD Remaster, Animality, Ao Ashiro HD Remaster,
That's the one I didn't know.
Batboy, Battle Kid, Fortress of Peril, Bee in the Valley, Best Action Games 5 and 1, Best Forklift Operator, Best Forklift Operator,
Best fortune.
Best Mobile Games 5 and 1, Blacksmith Hit, Cassette Beasts, Coloring Pixels Collection 3, Convergence, a League of Legends story.
Just so you're not listening closely, Best Forklift Operator was the one I was waiting for you to hear.
I'm still listening. Closely.
You go right ahead. Just the fact that you brought up a forklift game and then one came out this week.
Dark Quest
It's
3,
everyone's dream.
Dyson Spells, End of
Back-
Lines, Fantasy Tower Defense, Fights in the Tights Places,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Fights in the tights.
Fights in Tight Spaces.
There you
Oh,
I
okay.
like fights in the tights.
Yeah. That's like
Fights
the
in-
pies of all
Fights
sizes.
in the tight places.
Fights in the tights. It's a superhero game.
Wow, this game. Finally in love again.
You did it.
That is a name of a game.
Finally.
Perfect.
Ghost PS Season 1, Glitch Busters Stuck on You, Hello Good Boy,
Yeah.
Hentai Dream,
There you go.
Hexapoda, Horse Club Adventures, Lakeside Collection,
Yeah, right.
Hush Hush, Kazunu AI, Touch the Beat, or Kazuno
There.
Al,
All right.
Touch the Beat,
I'm sorry to do this. You said it.
Kazuna,
There you go. You got it.
Kazuna AI, Touch the Beat,
It's a dancing rhythm game.
Last Labyrinth, Ludicity Lost.
VR game made not VR, now available on Switch.
Lego 2K Drive, Loco Parentis, Maquette, Marlin's Mystery, The Dark Side of Crime,
There it is.
Mechanic 8230, Escape from Ilgrot, Moonleap, Octocurse, Onigo Hunter, Pulling No Punches, Puzzle Bobble, Bust a Move, 16-bit console version.
So to make it clear, that is a re-release of the Super Nintendo version on the Switch eShop. So it's a digital release of the original Puzzle Bobble, or as we knew it back then, Bust a Move.
Oh.
Bob and Bob, the Bubble Bobble duo. Well, here we called it Bust a Move because we were like, it needs a better name. Everywhere else they called it Puzzle Bobble. It's Bub and Bob from Bubble Bobble, matching the colors with their bubbles.
So this is a spin-off of Bubble Bobble?
Yeah, that is correct, yes. It's
Alright.
the one where you have the bubbles and the top field is all the multicolored bubbles and you match 3 to disconnect them.
Puzzle Bobble fell flat in the focus groups.
Would you
Yeah, I don't know why we thought Bust a Move was better, but
Maybe that song was big.
I
at the
don't think
time.
it got localized here until PlayStation because I bought Bust a Move when it came out because I was like, Bub and Bob, this is great, they're back. And I mean, Puzzle Bobble's good.
is Puzzle Bobble / Bust a Move considered better than Bubble Bobble, or it's kind of, or they're different? They got
There's
their own fans.
been, I would say, probably more people are familiar with Bub and Bob through Puzzle Bobble. Because there's Bubble Bobble, but there's only been like that one really. Then there's like Rainbow Islands, which is the sequel, but that's got humans in it, and you make rainbows instead of bubbles. But there's been multiple Puzzle Bobbles. A new one, you talked about it, literally came out this week. It's the Puzzle Bobble Every Bubble, whatever it's called, which I hear is very great. It doesn't try to reinvent the bubble, but it's a great game. And it's multiplayer online, and it's 4-player local, a whole bunch of fun stuff. Puzzle Bobble's awesome if you haven't played it. It's just a great match 3 game. Anyway,
Replicator, Rena Rhythm Error, Round People,
sounds racist for some reason.
Santa's Monster Shootout, Serene Hike,
I'm looking up Serene Hike.
Skytails, Smash Out, Spectrolite, Sunshine Shuffle, Super Night Riders. So they just had 3 like Nintendo game ripoff names: Smash Out, Sunshine Shuffle, and Super Night Riders. If I wasn't paying close attention,
Sunshine
Those
for
are
Mario
brought to you by
Sunshine.
Nintendo.
Terracotta, The
Oh.
Case of the Golden Idol.
You know what? Since you said it, I'll bring it up. It's a quick little story about Sunshine Shuffle. It's a game about animals like playing poker, and a developer joked like, "This is the perfect game to teach kids how to gamble." Nintendo was like, "We're not releasing the game anymore." And he's like, "Oh, it was a joke." The night before it came out, he blocked his own release for coming out in America.
Oh, no.
But they've since reapproved it. It will come out on the 30th, so it is coming. But he's like, I wish I didn't do that.
He said, "Man,"
Don't say it. Don't say
and
it.
then
The
he
funny
said,
part
"Man,
is-
I took."
Don't say it.
The funny part is Nintendo of Europe was like, it's fine. They put it out. So if you want it now, you can go into European eShop and get it. We'll have it this
You
coming week.
degenerate
It's weird that we're-
Europeans that
it's
want
weird
children
we're
to
more
gamble.
squeamish about gambling and not other things.
Only children game.
Yeah, in Germany they got nudity all over the place. You just can't curse.
We got hentai games coming out every week.
Nude gambling.
I'm talking about on like NYPD Blue.
Oh, yeah.
And by PD Blau.
Anyway.
Uh,
NYPD Blau.
Theft Ride Legacy, Torinto, To the Rescue, True Disc Golf, Vaccine Rebirth, Warhammer 40,000, Bolt Gun.
Again, and here's a new gaming term for you, R-Type. That is a boomer shooter. A boomer shooter is a first-person shooter that looks like first-person shooters back when we were kids.
But we're not boomers.
So like Duke Nukem, well, that's the term that the zeitgeist has decided
There's
for it.
2 O's
Gen-
in both
Gen
words,
Z's
so
just calling everything boomer that they don't like.
I mean,
That's not cool.
but this is a term the industry has embraced. So I get it, because boomer, because shooting, and boomer, because old, and I get
bet
it.
even the developers weren't boomers. They were probably boomers.
Maybe.
an Xer shooter.
Let's check our
Welcome Kokuri-san, Woodland Hike,
That is definitely a hiking simulator.
not to be confused with Serene Hike, and World War Combat Guardian.
Hectic woodland.
Serene Hike is a walking simulator. I looked it up.
And I'm afraid
You'll explore various buildings and objects as you immerse yourself in a serene beauty of nature.
people were so excited about the releases
what are those called for?
that they
Oh,
couldn't bring themselves to comment.
comments are all wonky lately since Zelda came out. Like, you got to have a hot topic to get people to discuss, like the usual weekly stuff. People aren't.
Well, when you were like, the site is more popular than it's ever been, I was thinking to myself, well, is it because of Tears of the Kingdom? And then I was like, wait, no, people are playing Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
They're not reading
Yes.
about it.
No, yeah, I'm sure Tears of the Kingdom led to higher traffic without a doubt. Yes, but the usual, like, I can look at activity for the site to see when people are active, and the times are different, much different from what they usually are, because what you said, you're exactly right. we've all come together to play Tears of the Kingdom. Like, that's it. Our final top story, Pokemon Company update. They shared that they have, as of the end of March, they've moved over 480 million units of software around the world. For almost 500 million Pokemon video games sold. That's not merch or anything else, just video games. Want an even crazier number?
Please.
Pokemon trading card game has produced, I left out a word, and this is really funny. Pokemon trading card game has produced over 52.9 billion cards.
Oh my gosh.
Or as I wrote, 52.9 cards.
I
Whoops!
want that 1/10 of a card.
Pokemon video games have been officially translated into 9 different languages, while the cards have been officially translated into 14 different languages. Pokemon trading card game is sold in 89 countries. I'm sure R-Type could name them all. And the Pokemon anime has aired in a whopping 100. How many countries are there?
Sovereign states, 214, 215, something like that.
Pokemon anime has aired in a whopping 192 countries and regions around the world.
It's up there.
Impressive numbers. So there you go.
If a card is in a different language, could that make its value go up or down? Like, so like an English Pokemon card could be worth more than, say, that same exact card in like Thai or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
You are right. Yep. That stuff really matters. It's kind of like, sorry, I'm logging in to fix this typo. It's kind of like if speedrunners will play certain region games because the way the text is formatted, sometimes you'll be able to get through text bubbles faster because there's less bubbles to go through. So like cards with different fonts may show a little bit more of the artwork, or the formatting is a little bit different, that you get to see a little bit more than other cards. So they like certain language cards, and sometimes they have to change artwork in certain regions. So you get a card with artwork that only exists in that region. So yeah, there's reasons. Okay, I fixed my typo and now it says billion. There you go. That's our top stories. Now let's get to the funny discussion of what we've been playing. MomBrain?
Merge Mansion, Penny and Flo. Here's a funny thing. I was
I thought you were gonna start
playing.
rapping.
No. I was playing Penny and Flo the other day, and I got a Merge Mansion commercial, and
Oh
it's the
my God.
it's the good one.
Pedro Pascal?
Yeah.
P-Pask.
Did that make you go over to Merge Mansion?
No, I was out of energy to, like, in the game energy, and probably in life energy as well. But I usually start with Merge Mansion and then go to Penny and Flo.
You got a nice flow going.
Yeah, playing
That-
Penny and Flo right now.
Is that it?
Ice, Flo, nowhere to go. Yeah, that's it.
R-Type, is there anything you want to talk about that you've played since the last time you were here? I'm sure you've stolen a few spare minutes of something along the way.
Do you ever get to play? I mean, with your schedule, you probably don't. But if you did, what do you play?
I've played my SNES and NES Classic recently. What was I getting into? I don't remember.
Hi, Marsboro. Good to see you.
It's been a busy one.
It's okay. Would you like me to go on?
Although I was looking for, you had loaned me a DS a long time ago. I was looking for the power source because I was wanting to restart a Pokemon game, honestly.
Well, I have 8,000 of them here if you'd like to borrow
All
another.
right, perfect.
There's something Pokemon I wanted to tell you about. It's gone. It'll come back to me. Is that it?
That's it.
Kirby, I know what you've been playing. Should we all have you played anything else besides that?
Yes, and that's
Okay,
yeah,
go to that.
I'll focus on that.
I figured we'd all just group talk Zelda since this guy wants to hear about it too. So.
I do.
But yeah, here's how sad it is that like Tears of the Kingdom has basically like eclipsed every other game in my life since it came out. This was like at least a few weeks ago. I downloaded a game on my phone called What the Car, which is
What the Golf People?
yeah, it's a sequel to What the Golf. And I was like kind of excited for it when I just like absolutely like it was like wiped from my brain. I forgot I had even like downloaded it. And then and then Tears of the Kingdom came out, and I've already logged in like at least 95 hours.
Yeah.
I must have been like just looking through my apps and I was like, oh yeah, I have that game.
Oh yeah, I did things before Tears of the Kingdom came out.
So I played a little bit of that this morning, and much like What the Golf is not actually a golf game, What the Car is not actually a racing game. You play,
I am confused.
Marsborough says it's really fun.
yeah, you play as a car that has this like doofy look on its face, and bless you,
Bless you.
Pardon me.
and it like grows like human legs, and I've
That's what
just
happens when you leave a car out in the sun.
Mhm.
and I just played a couple of levels where it the car is acting like a frog. There was just like a
understand.
there was just like a Frogger type level,
It makes sense.
and there was
Have
one
that
where
experience as
it
well.
was like eating bugs.
Up and down.
This experience is not one.
So yeah, it's very goofy, like I was expecting.
So
And
what's what the golf about then? You play
Also,
golf?
also a car.
Also a car. That's a frog. Obviously.
well, it starts off kind of looking like a golf game, but then there's like all these like quirky things about it, and it just gets more and more ridiculous as you go on.
Sounds fun.
It all is somehow very loosely related to golf in some way, at least most of the things, I guess. But
But-
it's very much not golf.
Yeah, like
yes.
just to give one example, in one level, instead of controlling where the ball goes, you control where the golf hole goes, and it like moves
Yes.
over like across the course.
Reminds me
And,
of like WarioWare.
So yeah, it's on.
Yeah, that's a very
Switch.
good,
It's on cell
comparison.
phones. It's on everything. I think.
and I would recommend it as well. And so yeah, it did feel nice to squeeze in something between all these like marathon sessions with Tears of the Kingdom.
It's hard work.
Is that it?
that is it.
Do nothing besides Tears of the Kingdom, right?
Nothing, not even anything in like regular life other than video games. Like literally nothing but that.
I'll just say I played.
It's amazing
Fortnite
that
real
I'm
quick.
here.
I played Fortnite.
Taking
It was
away
great.
my time.
Playing with family, had lots of fun, but we can all collectively talk more about Tears of the Kingdom. This guy said he wanted to hear about it because obviously
You
he's
should be
been
playing
hearing
about
about
it.
it.
Is what you should be doing.
I
a Switch?
without hyperbole, I know us two will say. I don't know Kirby. I'm sure he feels very strongly about the game. I think the greatest game I've ever played in my entire life.
Wow.
Oh yes.
Have you started Story?
Not on purpose, and
Yes.
no, not really.
We've been playing for 2 weeks. It's been out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We have not started the story at
Yeah.
all. We've just been everywhere and I've seen everything. Been wandering, and wherever it takes us is what we do. And it's unbelievable. And the abilities that Link has, they're mind blowing.
So cooking.
You have
building-
No,
they give
yeah.
you they give you everything in like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then you get to do literally whatever you can make happen with those skills. And it's amazing how much there really is. And no two people are ever gonna build the same thing or
Yeah.
do the same thing.
Unless
or,
it's something
or-
with a giant dick.
yeah.
Lots of that has been
That
built.
gets
Lovely.
set on fire. Yeah.
You should show him that TikTok of just that thing flying through the sky that was created. I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil it because you could show him that and be like, "This is Tears of the Kingdom." He'd be
I mean,
like, "What's going on here?"
In a nutshell.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy because like I've made literally one thing, a hover bike, out of like 3 parts, and everyone online has made this thing. I'm not very special. And
People have
but
made
you
like
go-
giant mechs.
but yeah, you
that
go
they're walking
online
around.
and the things that people are making.
Did you see the guy that built the
Probably.
unicycle? But it's like 20 logs high.
Oh, yes.
He built a unicycle, so he's got like a wheel, a steering column, and in between those, it's like 16 trees
And there's
that
like
he stuck together. So this thing extends like
there's like a little
miles
device
into the sky.
There's a device that like stabilizes. So he put a couple of stabilizers like in between the logs. So that's how it's staying up on one wheel. But it's
So he's got to
ridiculous.
climb something else just to mount the thing he created, and then you see him driving it across the. He's like
It's
he's
so
like
cool.
a bird in the sky looking down at ants, and he's like driving this massive steering column.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
I saw this one where someone made like this giant kind of like all-terrain vehicle with this arm, and there were a couple of little like stabilizers on this arm that held a platform that he put together somehow.
Yes.
And he's in there as Link, and the vehicle can go upside down all around. And
it's got like a suspension
and
system.
because of his suspension and stabilizing system, Link never leaves like the flat area. He's like this the whole time,
Yeah.
and his vehicle's flipping all over the place. Like, it's ridiculous. And I would have never thought that you could even do stuff like that.
So the major abilities in the game are the building that you can do,
Yeah.
whatever it's called. So you can take these Zonai devices and stick them together. There's fans, there's cannons, there's mirrors, there's lights, there's stone slabs that you can
wings, there's
use. There's
wheels,
so much stuff,
there's-
and you can build anything you want out of it. And the game has a realistic physics system. So obviously it's going to perform a little more outrageous than in real life, but based on, that you can fly, you can float, you can do a whole bunch of stuff, and people are building insane things. So as long as you can dream it up to build it to solve whatever problem you've come across, you do it. And that's the same for puzzles. Like puzzles, traditional Zelda games are like push the block, get the key. There's a little bit of that here, I'm sure, but most of it is here's something you got to do. Figure out how you want to do it.
Yeah, wow.
You design your own solution to the puzzle, which is fantastic. Then there's fuse, which lets you take a weapon and fuse anything to your weapon. So you can make a sword with another sword on it if you want, or a sword with like a gem on it that gives it like ice abilities or fire abilities. Or you can do you can fuse like
you could fuse a leaf to it and like swing and blow a guy off an island.
Yeah.
Or
you could fuse a bomb to your shield, jump with your shield, and shield surf. So when you land on the shield, it explodes the guys underneath you. You bounce into the air, and you can make another one, and just you can do whatever.
You can fuse mushrooms to your weapons and shields and make them bouncy.
Yeah, there's like a bouncy mushroom. So when you hit enemies, they go flying. Like Nintendo has thought of everything you could possibly fuse and what it would do. Sometimes it doesn't do anything. Like there's infamously a guy who made a tomato shield. He fused tomatoes to a shield and it doesn't do anything, but you can do it. But yeah, the things people are thinking of. There's Ascend, where you can look up, and as long as the ceiling is within a certain distance, you can zip up to it and through it and pop out the other side. So like if you see a building you want to get on top of and you don't have the stamina to climb, you could potentially find a ledge that sticks out.
The ability is amazing.
And suck up through the ceiling and pop out the other side of it.
But it's awesome.
How great is it when you're in the depths and you find somewhere you can zip up, and you zip up and you're in Hyrule?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So there's Hyrule, the depths, and the sky. All three can be explored. And you can go from the depths, and sometimes you'll go up through something and pop up in Hyrule. So you've gone the whole next level up, because I'm like, oh, I wonder what happens when I go up here and I pop out like on the top of a mountain in Hyrule. And I'm like, holy crap.
He phases through like miles and miles of like solid earth.
But Link just like peeks his head out. You have to hit a button to confirm to like actually pop out, so you can reverse it. Because I've like popped up in places and I'm in like an enemy compound and everybody's looking at me. I'm like, back down.
I love that animation too. It reminds me of Skyward Sword, those digging guys, because he comes out like, and he's like halfway out of the ground and he's like looking around like those guys do. Yeah, there's a lot of like, even something like that is a nod to, it's like, well, we had the digging gloves in previous games, but like now we've got this ability, but they brought like a little classic element to it.
Yes, the Ultra Hand is what the Ultra Hand ability is what you use to build things.
It's
and
basically
move
like
things around.
telekinesis.
Yes, and it's
Lincoln,
actually an homage to one of Nintendo's first toys, which was called the Ultra Hand, which is a hand on like a scissor, stretch in and out.
Oh yeah.
That was one of their first toys that they did, and they renamed this thing in honor of that.
That's pretty great.
Link can rewind time as well.
Oh yes, you can rewind time. So if an enemy throws something at you, you can just hit it and it goes back to them, hits them in the face. If you drop anything, if you do anything wrong, as long as you remember, I can rewind stuff. Like if you drop something off an island in the sky, as long as you remember in time, you can hit rewind and call it back up, and it's like it comes back up and lands.
And it's
right
almost anything. Like you could do it with like a piece of fruit or like a chest that's somewhere, or I mean,
anything.
There's all kinds of things that you could do. So
I guess basically, if it can move outside of an enemy, you can rewind it.
So like you can do stuff like, I got to get up on that hill, but I don't have the stamina to climb the whole thing yet. So you can use Ultra Hand to lift up a platform. hold it there for a few minutes, drop it, then hit it with rewind, jump on it, it pulls you up there, and then
Right.
you jump up, and like just little things like that. And
Wow.
you almost feel like you're cheating, but like they want you to
That's
do
what
this
Nintendo
stuff,
said.
and
They
it's-
said
Right.
the ascend ability
That's
was
what it said.
something
It
they
sounded
were using
sounded
during development to
overpowered.
get around easier, and they were like, this should be in the game. And the guy,
Wow.
the main guy, was like, it feels like cheating, but cheating is fun in this setting. It's exciting because you're thinking you're doing things you shouldn't be able to do. So,
Right.
but you'll go through like
Everyone's a hacker.
there's
Yeah.
tons and tons of
Hacking
caves
the
now.
mainframe.
Like tons of caves. There's 58 wells. So there's like a lot of like underground stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll go in, you'll explore the whole thing. And then instead of having to leave the entire cave, you just ascend out.
Okay.
yeah,
And then
You
you're
don't
on
have to
top
walk
of some
back out.
mountain. And then you're like, "Ah."
there are so many
Amazing.
caves. Like the wells are their own things, but there's so many caves all together that it's just nuts. So the fact of, I think all of us will play where we're like, we'll see something we want to do. Say there's a shrine. There's 120 shrines or 100 shrines?
I think there's 120 on the mainland, and then there's 30 in the sky. So I think 150 altogether.
So there's
is what I
shrines,
read.
and each shrine is a little puzzle to solve that you go in, and it's its own self-contained thing, and you get something to level up in there. So you might see a shrine in the distance, and you're like, I'm going to go over that shrine. By the time you get there, you've gone so many other places because on your way, you're like, oh, what's this thing? Oh, what's that thing? Oh, what's over there? What's that guy doing? You get so distracted everywhere you go because there's so much to do.
Yeah.
One mission to just get to a shrine, self-imposed mission, you could spend like 5 hours between like just getting there and seeing other stuff you want to do along the way. It's nuts.
There's a real magical way about the game that encourages exploration without having to look at maps or without having to look at the mission objective. It's like you literally look around, and because there's no restrictions other than like your stamina or something, like you can get literally anywhere you see. So it makes you want to go. Like if you're playing some fancy pants open world game, you'd be like, oh, that's beautiful, but there's no way I could get there because it's
Nothing I
just
can do
a
with it.
beautiful skybox. This is like literally like anywhere you see you can go to, and you just, it's impossible, like you said, to not get sidetracked. I've just been getting sidetracked.
Sometimes I'll see
Gladly.
things and I'll be like, oh, I want to go there, and you can mark it, you can ping it. And then I'll go to the map to see how far away it is, and I'm like, oh, that's like way out there. When you're looking at it in the game, you're like, it doesn't look too far. I could probably walk there, and then you zoom out and you're like, oh no, this is gonna take me forever. But that's the exciting part.
Why you build a giant unicycle?
That's right. I've
don't want
been
fun.
experimenting with random vehicles, but I usually default to that little bike that you can make because it's great.
It's so
It's a great way to
easy.
get around, and it's easy
It's
to control. and-
efficient and it's great.
So
to get
literally
around.
2 fans, a steering column, and if you're in the depths, it's dark. You throw like a light on the front.
Yeah, there's these.
You just
seeds
take off
that-
and
yeah.
fly. So Link's like holding onto the column, like as you're flying it through the air. It's great.
But
it's
for the
great.
same reason that the overworld or the regular top world is that exciting to explore, the depths is just as exciting to explore,
Yeah.
and you can't see a thing. And it's
I've
all about
never
throwing these
experienced anything like the
seeds.
depths in a game before. I've experienced games that have pieces of it, but the feeling of it, you're just the music. It's very ambient. And it's very disconcerting. It's not pitch black, but it's
It's hard to
dark.
see
It's
where you're
pretty
going.
dark.
you
yeah.
can see
man.
like stuff blowing in the wind, and you can maybe sometimes see outlines of things, but you can light with these seeds, and and then there's big seeds that you can get to, and when you touch them, they light up an area. But just exploring in the dark and going around,
And it
it's
remembers where all your
unbelievable
seeds
fun.
are. So like,
I can't believe
isn't that incredible?
that. I
you
went to
throw
an area that I
hundreds
went
of
to
seeds.
last night. I went to an area I went to on the first day, and I didn't know. I was like, oh my god, my seeds
all
are
your
still
seeds are there.
there.
Isn't that incredible?
Wow.
I was shocked. I did
But
not
you
know
could
it did
either
that.
you could either toss them or you could put them on your bow and shoot them. And like sometimes you'll like shoot and you'll just see the thing go and go and go, and then it'll disappear behind something, and you're just like, well, where the heck am
Yeah.
I? Like,
Yeah.
am I in some Grand Canyon that's
Yeah.
black, like total blackness,
Wow.
or just a video that RMC posted the other day of his
I was gonna
gameplay
say
made
it
me
just
think
happened.
of it.
Yeah,
Like this happens to me all the time. Like you'll be down there throwing seeds, whatever, and like you'll get ready and you'll like toss one, and it'll be like boom, like right in front of your face is
it
the
just
wall.
happened to
and
me
you'll
again
have
last night because I had
no
thrown a couple,
idea.
and
Like,
they went
that's
so
so
far
crazy.
away. So I went a different way. And I'm like, probably another hole here. And I threw it and it was like right in front of my face. And I was like,
It's
For a world that you
amazing.
can't see to be exciting is
Plus
special.
enemies down there, which
Plus,
is great.
when you can see, you don't know what the heck you don't know what you're gonna find down there. It's fascinating.
So, there's the Poe guy in Lookout, whatever, the little guy. I just went to go talk to one of his counterparts down in the depths. I hadn't done that before. And he's like, here's where my counterpart is. Go talk to him. And I got there and I was like spooked. I was like, oh, it's a giant thing. It's not. You talk to one guy and he's like, as big as Link
like
is. And he's
this
like,
big.
go see my
see my
friend in the
friend.
depths. And you go down there and it's a guy that's like 6 times the size of you. And I was like, oh my God.
I had to
You could have warned
ascend.
me.
I had to ascend through him to get to the top because I couldn't find a way to climb it safely.
I have something to say. It's not a story spoiler for anybody listening. I am either really, really dumb or I'm hopeful other people at least didn't notice this at first. It's not a story spoiler. I don't know if you consider it a spoiler, so whatever. But did you know that the shrines in Hyrule perfectly align with the lights below? I did not
That's-
until last night. I
That's
looked at the
helping
map
me.
and I was like, I'm
And-
flipping between the two pages and I was like, oh my God, they're in the same places.
Mhm.
And the
Exactly.
names are backwards.
The names are backwards. Yeah.
So now when I'm going through the depths, I'm like, at least I can stumble in a direction I know will have a light down there.
I've been using that actually to find the shrines on the regular
now
map.
I am.
because they're not really like, unless you're jumping from a tower or something, it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been using that to like kind of try to get some more shrines to get more
Yep.
more hearts.
Last night I traversed the depths, and once I found that out, I was like, I mark all of them with stars so I know, and I'm like, now exploring is even better. Like at least I have some general direction I can know to go in to light things up. But even then, you'll walk into a wall that's so high you can't get over it, and you got to find another
Oh, yeah.
entry point into the depths to get in. But I think last night was in 2 weeks full of the most fun I've ever had. I think last night was the most fun of the whole time I've been playing, just because I was in the sky, in Hyrule, and below, and just the stuff that I was doing. I went and did all 3 of those mazes. Have you done those mazes?
I've done 2 of them.
I did all 3, so I won't spoil the outfit, but I got that outfit, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But just doing those, so cool, especially the music in the sky ones when you're like flying around through the maze, man. And then the fact that you dive all the way back down,
Well, and
so good.
That was really cool. Plus, when you get up there, the gravity changes too.
Yes. When I went to my first one, and I'm like, I'm riding some like piece of garbage that I built where it's like petering along. I'm like a million miles in the air, and I'm like, I'm not gonna make it. And I'm trying to like, the thing dies, the batteries die, so I jump off of the paraglider, and I'm like, I'm almost there. And then I entered that bubble, and I'm like, what's going on? And then it's like half gravity, and you're just coasting in. I was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
So next time when I went to the other 2, I was like, okay, I only got to get kind of close in, and I can sail in, and I'll be okay. But the one that what was I riding? It was like one of those metal cage things that are floating in the air with like 6 fans on it and like 8 batteries. And I'm like with a steering column in the middle, and I'm just petering along on it, and it's like barely making it. But I got there, and thankfully I found out it had the shrine there, and I was like, oh, let me lock that in so I can just teleport back up in here. Highland Tom says, my crying teary-eyed count is at least 2 so far. I love that so many NPCs are back. It's been great to see how everyone is doing. I did the island one last night and couldn't stop laughing. It was brilliant. And it has been really great seeing NPCs that you're like, oh my God, it's that guy from last time.
There's
this is
a
great.
ton of NPCs that have grown up or grown in some way. There's different stuff there. And so that's been really cool to see. And like you said, the first time we played, like it's very funny. It's a funny game.
Yeah.
If you're really reading like what people are saying, it can be really funny.
There's a guy in the game who is trying to spread the word of a construction company. And he's the guy in charge of holding up basically billboards for this guy, or putting up billboards, I should say. But instead of putting them up, he stands there and holds them. He just stands and holds the sign. So your job each time you see the guy is to build something to hold the sign in place. And then the guy will be like, oh my God, it's not falling. And then he'll like tap in nails and whatever and set it up, and then it permanently stands. He gives you something each time you do it. He's so funny because just the idea of a man standing there just holding a sign like is a funny idea. But the way he reacts, like if you go to hold the sign and the thing you built doesn't work and it falls, he looks at you and he goes, "Unforgivable." It's so good. I love that man. But speaking of teary-eyed and great NPCs, I got teary-eyed over the dumbest thing. It was the lady who's like, "I'm trying to start a business and my wagon's broken and it doesn't have wheels and I can't get a horse and I don't know what to do."
That made you teary-eyed?
Yes,
I was
'cause-
like, there's wheels here and you're at a stable.
I put the wheels on. I put the
I have
wheels
no
on.
sympathy for you.
Something about her reaction to me helping her was so genuine. I didn't cry, but I got teary-eyed. I was like, "That's so nice." I was like, "I hope this lady's business does well." I went out. I'm like, "I'll get you a horse right away. I'll do it right now." And I like, I don't know. I don't remember what she said.
Probably
But,
something dumb.
Yeah, right. She probably. She,
horses and wheels.
it'd be funny if I did. It'd be funny if she turned into one of the
Yiga clan.
the Yiga clan. She's like, "Thanks for building it, asshole," and like attacks you. Yeah, that guy. There's just so many great NPCs. I really feel like they've dialed up the NPC dialogue this time around to make characters like they might say a little, but they say a lot in what they say. Like the roving band of people. I love them. That whole troop
Absolutely.
is great. Every interaction with them, I love. I love the band leader. It's good. It's good. Yes, Highland Tom. I thought the same thing. Highland Tom says it's jarring to go from "I hope your family dies" discourse in real life to this level of wholesomeness. I was thinking that the same thing. Also, that happens in the game as well when you're like, "Oh, thank you for building my wagon. This is great." And then Yiga clan is like, "I'm here to kill you," or
And then
whatever,
they go,
prepare to die.
"Thank you for being so dumb."
Oh man. So yes, it's great. I had a great time. Now last night where I finished, I have one more thing I want to do. And then I don't have like anything on my checklist of like,
Something will
I'm
pop
gonna do
up.
this next. I want to get more shrines, so I think I might wander, but I was like, is it time to start the story? I don't know. So I'm gonna go and just wander, and I'm sure 8 million things will
Right.
open up and it won't happen. But at this point, I'm like,
Well, for
you know
2
what I
days-
need to do? I need to get heat stroke clothes. I know that.
Oh yeah.
I have the Goron hot clothes. I have the cool clothes, but I need heat stroke clothes. So I got to go out and talk to the Gerudo or whatever. I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
But,
do that. That was
but
cool.
I haven't even been like I've lit up that part of the map, but I haven't talked to them. I only see them passing on the road, and they're like Savak or whatever they say.
Yeah, I've been to like all 4 of the main places, just been there, not done any story stuff, but like every place has something cool and spooky going on that we're gonna have to get to the bottom of.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. It's
Um,
so yeah, it's not just
excited
an
to see it.
amazing Zelda game, it's an amazing like we were talking about this last week. Developers on other games are having their minds blown because they cannot fathom how Nintendo made this game
Well, not
work.
David Jaffe, but
Because of course, because they're like
I already made that. Just didn't want
it
to
has
release
a realistic physics system. It has the giant map of Breath of the Wild, even bigger, times 3, if not more. It has this whole building system in it, a fusing system, and it's the biggest open world game ever. And it's all on Switch, which is very underpowered hardware compared to what else is out there.
Yeah, wow.
They're like, I was saying, one developer was like, if one game had one of these features and it worked as well as it does here, it would be a monumental achievement. And somehow Nintendo has done this on underpowered hardware, and these are all working with each other.
Yeah.
And in,
How long was it in development for?
it's the longest time we've had to wait between mainline Zelda games. It was a little over 6 years.
Wow.
But they said, E.g. Inuma, or as we call him, Al Newman, he's the guy that steers the Zelda series. He
Which
said,
loves.
to be completely honest, the game was pretty much finished a year ago, but he was like, let's really polish it. Let's really make sure everything works. And they
Yeah.
took a whole year. They didn't say at the time we delayed the game a year. They just said there's going to be a delay.
Yeah.
They took a whole year to make sure everything was in as tip-top shape as it can be. And I am blown away by how, like, I can't think of an awkward moment I've had, like maybe where Link goes to climb something and he slips on something weird. I'm like, oh, that's weird, like a weird terrain spot or something. But like glitches or bugs or anything, like I can't think of anything I've experienced in a game this huge. Like you'd be like, if something happened, you'd be like, it's bound to happen in a game this size, of course. But
yeah,
somehow,
no, I haven't had anything. I mean, there's like usual clipping issues,
Yeah.
but like it's not game breaking and it doesn't stop Link from doing any movements.
Yeah, I don't think Nintendo really cares too much about clipping
Well,
stuff.
when you fuse a spear with a spear,
Yeah.
then there's going to be clipping when the thing's on your back. and
Yeah,
it's, like,
everything
going.
can't work exactly right. Yes, yeah, you got like a 15-foot weapon hanging off your back. Things
We
aren't going
didn't
to
know
work
you were
right.
going to make that.
While you're riding a unicycle.
Well, that's the other thing. Nintendo's developers were saying when they came up with the ideas for where this would go, they were saying they were inspired by people and what they were doing in Breath of the Wild. And they were like, wow, people have done some really incredible stuff. And they're like, we wonder if we could do this, that, and the other thing. And that led to Tears of the Kingdom. And they were saying that I can't imagine how stressful development was, but when they were struggling their development or hit a rough patch, they would go online and watch videos of what people were doing and all the fun they were having. And that
so
was their
cool.
way to energize them. They were like,
Yeah.
this is why we're doing it, because of people like this getting this.
That
They're
is
like, this
awesome.
is why we're making what we're making. And they got back to it. It's just
Wow.
great. I love the way Nintendo talks about their games. And Nintendo as a company is the game makers make the games. The business people do not tell them how to make the games. The business people figure out how to sell the games that Nintendo's developers make, which is how it should be for any art form. That's how it should be.
Yeah.
So
Let the artists do art.
we love it. We can't stop playing it.
It's-
We've done nothing and we've done everything.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say for 2 days now I've been threatening myself with like I'm gonna start the story today, and like I get sidetracked for literally my
Yep.
entire playtime,
Mhm.
and then it's like, well, I don't need to rush the story then. Like that's how you know I'm still enjoying it. Like there's no
I've had two
Like
accidental
infinite-
story
infinite
moments.
gameplay.
I've had one story moment where I was by, you know how the land has that it's like the hieroglyphs, the giant hieroglyphs,
Oh, you mean the geoglyphs?
the geoglyphs.
Yeah, I
sorry.
wanted to mention those actually. But,
I was on a mountainside where one happened to be, and I was walking through it, and there was like a puddle that said I could interact with it. And I was like, what the hell is this? And then a cutscene played. I was like, no.
Yeah.
But it's, it wasn't a big deal or anything. And then the other time was I went to Rito Village and went to the top of it, and the Tulin or whatever his name is from Breath of the Wild, the
Oh,
little
yeah,
bird, he was there, and like a story thing started, and he's like, long story short, he flies away and you're supposed to go get him. And his dad's like, go get him. I'm like, see you later.
Exactly.
No,
Yep.
maybe in a couple weeks.
I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a story guy.
Not
That's
that guy, pal.
there's a funny video on TikTok of a cutscene where Zelda is saying, it's from the game. It's Zelda saying, like, looking out wistfully over the landscape. And she goes, Link, you have to find me. And then it cuts to a scene of Link building a giant robot with a huge penis that's like shooting water out of it. It's great. It's
Oh,
great.
yeah,
Anyway,
so-
you were going to say.
Oh,
The
yeah.
quest feels like a job, and you just want to play.
Well, we want to do it. Really, it's the quest is going to be the ribbon on this whole, like the bow on this package, the
The
icing on the
cherry on
cake.
the top.
I hope so.
Because we know all the gameplay and everything. Like, there's no way that isn't going to be entertaining. It's
Yeah.
just the exploration aspect
And
is so.
I hope it's not too different from the freedom that you have.
Oh, I'm
Like,
sure. No, it'll be, yeah.
you know what I mean?
Obviously, you'll have a course you're being steered
Yeah, you
through,
wouldn't
but
want-
that's,
you wouldn't want
that's part of Zelda too. We want that. So, but anyway, sorry.
Oh yeah, it might have been last week. Last week's show, someone in the chat was like warning everyone, don't do
Yes,
the geoglyphs
yes, you're right.
if you want to avoid story spoilers. And that's yeah. And another thing is like you have no idea what order those cutscenes are going to appear in.
Yes, you're right. Because I went to, in your menu, it will tell you the order you're supposed to see them in. And the one I saw is like the 6th video out of how many. So,
Right.
Yeah. So like you.
So how do you keep the story straight?
Yeah, I don't
Enter
even
the
know how
story at
we're
any
supposed to
point.
know what's going on when.
well, I don't think it's
we're seeing
supposed
them
to
out
be a
of order.
story that's told linearly. I think you're just supposed to piece together the memories to a certain point, and then they all culminate in something that does happen
It seems like
linear.
Oh, okay, so
'Cause
some of
in
them
the
seem like
beginning-
they
in the
are
beginning,
supposed
what's
to
their-
be like in a specific.
Well, they
order,
are,
though.
yeah. You just don't encounter them that way. That's why you have the
Yeah.
thing in your menu to play out the whole story.
But
But
that's kind of
that's why in the beginning, what's her face is like, go check out these 4 places, and you can go to whatever one you want in whatever order. So,
Mm.
I mean, obviously, hers, I guess, is the
And
first
they-
one you're supposed to
And
see.
they tell you try this one first, but like it's not an order.
Yeah.
You can do it however
Yeah.
you like.
It's
It's funny how when Breath of the Wild came out, speaking of freedom, I felt like this is the freest I've ever been in an open world game. And this Tears of the Kingdom has made Breath of the Wild seem so quaint, like it would be tough to go back to Breath of the Wild and not have
yeah.
all these tools at your fingertips. I mean, it just feels like
It's a no
they've
going
just
back kinda-
opened
Yeah.
the door. Like
Hi,
we were
Lanquin.
talking before, like I'm not a Majora's Mask fan, but I feel like people who like that era of Zelda games can play Ocarina and Majora's Mask, and and that's going to be fine for them.
Yeah.
But like for me, I don't know if I could go back to Breath of the Wild after playing this Tears of the Kingdom. It's a different kind of thing.
Super Sanchez says it's linear. You have to do one moment with Impa, then it's in order in the story. Each glyph is in order in a story moment. Then you do it in that order. So I wouldn't know because I haven't done the story. So it is linear. So if you'd like to see a story, if you're seeing the story and you want to see it as it's told linearly, then apparently the story will steer you in that direction. Backseat Studio says what we all are thinking. Breath of the Wild is dead to me now.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild walked so that Tears of the Kingdom could fly. And are you still wearing that awesome hat?
I
Can't bring myself to take it off.
I always switch it up. Like I get into like what's going to be best for the situation.
Of course.
Plus, I'm a climber at heart, so like I'm always wearing the climber's gear is probably my number one, and then I'll just switch out if I've got to fight somebody.
This is great. So Legend of Zelda, Link, what he looks like. I'm going to show you a screenshot and tell you this is the Legend of Zelda, and this is Link. That's my outfit right now. Because you have so many outfits you can wear and you can mix and match them for different abilities and purposes too.
Wow.
But I mean, I'm
Awesome.
living my dream. I got my Depths outfit, which is like
You
my
dyed it too. I
dyed it. Yeah,
well, look at you.
when I got that hat and it was pink, I was like, well, I'm here. I might as well dye the rest of it pink. So
Nice.
yeah. And I had some sort of
You're
cutscene that
a
was
true
great.
beauty girl.
Oh, it was the Rito cutscene where you know how characters react to you, and sometimes they're characters from the previous game, and they're like, "Link, is that you?" And you're like, of course it's me. You know it's me." But like when the
When you
Rito
dress
bird
like
saw me, and it's like, "Link, is it you?" And it shows me like this. I'm like, I believe it. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's like, well, it has been a long time.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all right.
I'm always wearing the stealth outfit, so my face is covered, but they always know it's me.
Yeah, I'll add my I'll put my picture in the Discord.
Have either of you gotten the froggy sleeve yet?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I've gotten one piece of the froggy outfit.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing.
It doesn't. It's not as sticky as I thought.
Yeah,
Maybe
I thought it
need
would
the-
be stickier.
Maybe I need a whole thing. But you know what? I've been drinking a lot of sticky potion, and like it doesn't seem to be that. Like it's kind of like it's better, but it's not permanent. You know, it's not
Yeah.
immune or anything.
Right.
Sticky
So-
potion.
Sticky
Yeah.
potion.
Oh wait, no, I haven't been. Gross.
All right, we talked that. Let's get the questions out. Send your questions to goninpod@gmail.com. goninpod@gmail.com. They can be about
Where?
Nintendo, video games in general, or whatever the hell you want. We got a question from Shonic the Hedgehog. Hi, podcast crew. After 2 attempts over the last 10 years, I finally... Oh, where's Bathroom Man? After 2 attempts over the last 10 years, I finally beat Earthbound.
Woo!
Happening...
I'm wearing the Earthbound shirt today.
I was inspired by hearing someone just beat Earthbound after 10 years.
Is it me?
No.
More like 20, 30 years.
After 2 attempts over the last 10 years, I finally beat Earthbound.
Okay, so they weren't playing for 10
yeah.
years.
I said I got to get back to that one. I love that game.
Yes, I was inspired by
It's
hearing
on
about the
your
podcast
Super
cruise.
Nintendo Mini.
It is.
Yeah,
I was like, no, it's not.
I was inspired by hearing about the podcast crew's recent playthrough and was finally able to push through the frustrating bits early in the game and get to the end. And my goodness, capital letters, what a final boss fight. No spoilers, but it took me several tries to figure out what to do at the last part of the final boss fight. You know what I mean if you played this game. I do know what you mean.
Thank
The
goodness.
game
I had
really
RMC
broke
with
me out of a recent gaming slump. That's a game to do it, without a doubt.
Slump buster.
Which brings me to my question. Is there a game in recent memory that has helped break you out of a gaming slump? Which game was it and why? Well, like I said, I was put in a slump by Meg's Monster, which made me bawl my eyes out. And what we just discussed this. What took me out of my slump?
Wasn't it like a platformer?
Naked
like
Boys.
a Mega Man
Naked Beauty Boys?
platformer?
No. I don't know if it was Bat Boy or not. That would be the platformer. But yeah, so I can remember what put me in my slump, and that was Meg's Monster, just because that was such. I have never been emotionally drained from anything, video game,
Tron?
movie, TV show. Tron. It was Tron. You're right.
Oh yeah,
yes.
it was.
Tron, because Tron was Tron Identity.
Tron, the Vietnamese guy.
Tron Identity. Yes, because that was so expertly done. Man, I can't sing that game's praises enough. So good. And that took me out of the slump. Yes, and now all other games are in a slump because Tears of the Kingdom.
Did you see that? The
It's so
picture?
great. I love it.
I'm looking at it now.
The dad with the phone head.
That's really good. So there's my example. Kirby, Deux, probably not MomBrain. A game that knocked you out of your slump.
Do you have one? Because I'm thinking.
Were you in a gaming slump, and did a game take you out of that slump?
Oh, you mean a
Or vice
gaming
versa,
slump where
right?
Yes, a game that was so good that it was hard for other games to measure up to.
You got unslumped.
I can't think of a specific example.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I always it's definitely happened, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
Dead
Maybe
Island 2 put you in a physical slump.
Dead Island 2 almost ruined me for especially on the heat like with Tears of the Kingdom coming on the heels of it. Man, I'm still very embarrassed about but it again, it had me look at myself at some, addictions aren't just for alcohol and drugs. Like, I think I was addicted to playing that game.
I think you were addicted to passing the time between Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, it helped, let me tell you, because those last 2 weeks would have been hell without it. Hell. But yeah, I don't know. Probably like Last of Us 2 or something. Like,
I felt the slump after that. I don't remember what took me out of it, but yeah, I mean, it's such an emotional game and such a great experience. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, I really don't know where I went from there, but like that's probably the last.
You know what's great? I think nowadays we have so many games that put us in those slumps. It just shows how great games are lately. P.S. Mango Jojo still suck. But I did discover in fall that Trader Joe's maple leaf cookies are amazing. Well, now we got something to look forward to.
Okay, all right.
Hold on.
I'm guessing those are seasonal.
Folks,
yes.
I know this is unusual, but I gotta go.
Oh,
No, we didn't even get to the music section.
Oh, I just got that
Sorry.
now.
not
I'm sorry.
unusual.
Sorry,
We understand.
Thanks for being here. Oh, yeah, we're almost done.
Oh.
We got probably 10 minutes.
Also, I think I'm parked behind.
No, I'm just saying, don't worry about it.
Good. Glad I made most of it then.
Now we can talk bad about you on the show.
Great to
Looking
have you.
forward to it.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Awesome to see you, man.
All right. Well, I got to see if I need to move my car.
If you're parked behind me, you probably.
There you go.
Driving along. Goodbye, brothers.
Bye-bye.
See you, brothers.
All right. So
The real Mario Brothers.
they are
no, the
real life
Kirby
brothers, if you don't know. Trader Joe's maple leaf cookies. We need to look into those.
Okay.
We also have a Patreon question, MomBrain. Did you know that you could join the Patreon
For $1.
for $1? Nico Darunia did, and they asked, this is a question to George. Hi, George.
Wow, buongiorno. Buongiorno.
Can you explain why Josh is so bitter with you? What's the full story? Thank you, George.
I'm gonna take the high
Doesn't
road.
anyone care what I think?
Well, sure, George. If George is taking a high
They
road,
did ask me, but I will take the high road.
so George isn't.
Shut up. I don't care.
George isn't airing dirty laundry. Josh, what do you think? Since you asked, we do care what you think.
That's none of your business.
Well, all right. They're both going the same route. Just one was a little more polite about it.
He can be sour like a lime sometimes.
No,
but
Some limes.
some limes.
some limes, but luckily I'm all about limes.
You know who George's favorite band is?
I do, but why don't you tell the audience for me?
Sublime.
It's Sublime. Yeah, definitely Sublime. All right, guys. Well,
Hello to my fans.
I respect your desire to keep personal stuff personal. That's completely fine. So maybe another day. And
Call of Duty, bro.
that's it. We got some music. Can we do some music?
We'd like to hear it.
Yes, let me go to town here.
Send your music to goninpod@gmail.com.
What do I said that music?
goninpod@gmail.com. Please put music in the title. Help out your
I
local
got
mom
music.
brain.
You want to hear it?
You wanna hear it? Oh. Let's do it.
Do it. Do it.
Give me a moment. Gotta do a little
Sure, why not? Yeah.
flippity.
Thanks for coming.
I am. Sure, why not? Okay.
Okie dokie. This first song comes to us from Wired. Let's just give me one moment.
Wrong.
Man, I don't know.
Aphex Twin, the movie, the game.
Awaken!
Is this like a Shadow the Hedgehog or something?
No.
I got no guess at all.
Nothing.
Zombie U.
Oh,
Dang.
man.
Oh, remember that game? Wow.
Sure, why not?
There you go.
All right. Remember that game well, but not that song. I like Zombie U a lot.
I want you to know that Nico Darunia sent an old sound clip that I want you to hear.
Fiscal.
Oh, I know. Nikki Hill still talks about it.
Fiscal.
Let's get into
Fiscal.
Well, we'll get that on the soundboard.
I mean, you're welcome, everyone. This song comes from Pratt Trap.
Mm-hmm.
Almost fell for it.
Almost fell for what?
There was an ad.
Commercial.
This is familiar.
Farty bass is a good bass.
Does this seem like something I played?
Probably.
It's familiar. The song is familiar.
Easy
I don't know if
farty.
it's familiar because I played it or because it's reminding me of something else. Switch, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not first party, that's for sure. I got nothing. I'm sorry. 2 in a row. I got nothing.
Katana Zero.
That's why it's familiar because I played it.
I played it too, but I
Because
don't
I
remember the
played it.
music.
I don't remember. I remember some of the songs, but not that one. I don't even remember where that is in the game. Man. The Katana Zero developer is making a game with iDubbbz right now, which is very interesting to me. Katana Zero, awesome game.
This comes from For Hand Tump.
Okay. Striking out this week. Wonder if the people like when we get them wrong or get them right. It's MIDI, but it's high quality, so it confuses me. Switch?
Switch.
I like it though.
Yep. The fact that they're bold enough to use MIDI makes me think Nintendo, but that drum makes me think not Nintendo.
Not Nintendo.
Oh. This is a winner. You know this game?
Yeah.
You do. Go ahead. I don't know.
Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes.
What the hell's going on?
Coffee and Donuts Mansion theme.
What is going on?
You played that one.
Yeah. So did you.
No, I didn't.
Oh no, you didn't know. You didn't spin
Come
off.
on,
Yeah.
give me a little credit, will you?
Oh man, I forgot. I can't believe this is horrible. We'll do 2 more.
Okay.
I'd like to get at least 1.
This one comes from. Just making sure there's no other name. Matthew.
Thank God. Booga, 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 booga. Great song, great game. Slap bass on the Super Nintendo, you can't beat it. Listen to this. This is a banger. Booga, 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 booga. Gotta get to the second part because it's even better. Just wait, just wait. Oh, yeah.
This is driving down the shore with the windows down.
This is childhood for me and my mom, big time. I'm getting goosebumps. We used to play the hell out of this. This is Tetris Attack. We used to play 2-player Tetris Attack all the time. Not a bad song in that game. Great soundtrack. Even if you don't care about the game, listen to the soundtrack. So good. Some of the
Nice.
best the Super Nintendo can do. Good stuff.
All right. So the last song we have here
Thank you, Matthew. We needed the bone to be thrown at us.
comes
Mm.
from Guy Bones.
Speaking of bones to throw.
This is very familiar. Okay, this is Nintendo.
Yeah.
Rhythm Heaven?
No.
Wario?
Nope.
Tetris?
Nope.
Ooh. It's a music related game? What system?
Wii U.
A Nintendo Land.
Yeah.
What game is this in Nintendo Land?
Great, whatever the heck that was.
The song title Octopus Dance Stage.
Yes. Yeah, that was a man. You know, here's my little tidbit about the Wii U. If only more people played or knew about the Donkey Kong Roly Wheelie game in Nintendo Land. I don't remember what it was called. That game should be released standalone. That game was so much fun. We played it. Remember at the press event? We sat on that couch forever playing that. It's
Yeah.
like a little,
Yeah.
it's a giant maze. And you're in the center as a little, like, precariously perched vehicle. And you have to drive the vehicle through the whole course to get to the end. So sad. It scratches the same itch as We Play Tanks. It was fantastic. I really wish they showcased that more because the TV screen showed the whole map and the gamepad showed a zoomed in view of where you were. And you had to, I think you had to use the axles on the wheels could go up and down and you had to raise and lower the car and it was really bouncy and springy. Oh, it was so good. I have an itch to play that pretty often. I really liked that game. And I remember if you beat the first maze, which took forever, the level flipped over and there was a whole new one. I never beat that. But if you haven't played that game and you got a Wii U, highly recommend that. What a great game. That's when I played the Wii U and I was like, oh, this could be something special. And it wasn't.
That's in Nintendo Land?
Yeah, it's in Nintendo Land.
Man, I have
The
got
Donkey
that.
Kong one.
I don't recall it at all.
The Luigi's Mansion one in Nintendo Land is great, but this one, hands down, the best. What was it called? I don't know. Coconut Course Rider. I got no idea. Just go play it. It's really good.
Maybe I'll check it out.
And somehow, even with losing so many songs, we got 6 out of 9.
Yeah, 6 out of 9. You're on a streak.
You have anything for us?
I do. It's a sweet rumor.
Super Sanchez agrees the DK rolling thing was so good.
Deux views. It's never news. Rumor of the week, starring Deux Michaels. Ladies and gentlemen, we heard that RMC is getting something sweet shipped to his house from Sega.
Oh my God, you got the inside scoop?
Got the inside scoop. So,
drum roll.
Oh, baby.
Sorry, it's not gonna.
Oh, that's right. You're not hooked up.
You're getting you're going to be one of the first people to get a copy of Seaman 2 coming to the Dreamcast, which is, you've got one of those, so they don't have to send you one.
Baby, lock the
Um,
door and
so-
turn the
so yeah,
lights down low.
This one, you actually play as, no, you don't. This one's just Seaman 2, and it's a man that chats with you.
This time you play as Leonard Nimoy.
The Seaman is played by Christopher Lee before he passed away. They've been really working on this game for a long time. So there you go.
Hey,
It's true.
I would have never guessed it, and I think it's better than all the things that I thought of. So
And when they say Seaman, they mean Christopher Lee.
oh, I get it. Here he is, right here. Blood Ocean put a picture of him. There he is, Seaman. Well, I'll share my
Sorry.
gameplay impression next week, guys.
You were so excited. I know it's just fake rumors, but like you seemed
I
really
don't know what you
excited,
mean. I
and
don't know
then
what you mean.
and then when you found out what it was, you were like,
Blinded by Daylight says the Animal Crossing minigame in Nintendo Land where you had to swallow all the balls and not get caught. We had so much fun and laughs with that. Yeah, that was another really great one. That one's a ton of fun. Those are the ones that stick out in my mind, but still the Donkey Kong one gets the old tip of the hat from me. And that's it, guys.
apparently there was a Seaman 2,
No. I gotta pee real bad.
or is
There
that
you go.
is that wrong? Trey Gamer says there was a 2, so 3.
Why? I don't know why I'm blanking on this. Oh yeah. Oh, it was okay. It's on PS2. Yeah, I remember not getting it because it was very much like the original one.
Oh,
Yeah, it was pretty much like like a Seaman Plus or something like that. It wasn't like a full-fledged real sequel.
it wasn't a $70 DLC like Tears of the Kingdom.
That's
is?
right. That's right.
Get him.
Yeah, so I would like even though that's called Seaman 2, I would still like a Seaman 3 that is, wholly new experience, but it still needs to have a fishman that talks in a tank. So however you turn that into something new, I don't know, but I'd play it. What's that guy's most recent game?
He still makes games, huh?
He does still make games, yes. He's like the king of strange games. Odama.
No, really?
He did Odama.
Did he
The
really?
pinball, the voice activated pinball feudal Japan game.
It's brilliant.
Let's see what he's got here.
He's a very active imagination.
Sim Tower, not crazy, but unique for the time. He worked on Seaman. He canceled C-Mail, M-A-I-L. Don't know what that would be. Mario Motors. Don't know what that was. Oh, I think that was. Yeah, never mind. Odama, Seaman 2, the Tower DS, and Aero Porters. So that was in 2012.
That was his last game. Okay.
It's probably like worked on other games since then, but not like a Ute Saito joint, as they would say.
Right.
All
Now
right.
he's like the head developer.
Yeah, that's it, guys. 2.5 hours for you. I think it was a great show. I think we had a lot of fun and lots of great conversations.
Yeah, I think 2.5 hours is the sweet spot for me.
Next week, 4 hours. Thanks for watching. Thanks for
No.
listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
All right, it's after show, people. What do you got for us, or what do you want from us, or what do you got in general?
What do you want? Leave me alone.
What do you want?
What is it? What do you want? We're closing.
Yes. What do you want?
Oh God, stretching. Never enough Seaman for me. That's correct, Lanquin. This day has been filled with Seaman. I listened to Seaman get interviewed on H3 podcast. I'm talking about Seaman the game.
Never mind.
A day full of semen.
Go right ahead. No, we're after show.
I was gonna be like, I squirted Seaman all over. Nah, that's not funny. It's just kind of gross.
This Seaman conversation in particular on H3, it's one for the ages because it is wild.
Yeah.
It is wild, the stuff that he talks about. How do you have so many charges? Talk about Tears of the Kingdom, I'm guessing. And where are you? Who's got charges? How many hours have I put into the game? I don't know. My Switch menu says over 55 is all I can tell you. I don't know what the real hours is, but over 55 is what I got. Thank you, 8-bit.
Do you see? I don't see you as a. Well, here's the thing that's interesting about you, RMC, is, for instance, like I know comparing apples and oranges here, but in Red Dead Redemption 2, I was huge into like using my binoculars to spy every animal and put it in my compendium. I'm doing that with the camera in this, and I'm having a lot of fun. It's just a fun way to do it. But like, you would never be compelled in like a game like Red Dead to do that. But in this game, you are, and it's very similar kind of thing. Do you mind expanding as to why?
Yeah, real crap's boring.
Okay, there you go.
That's the best way I can put it to me. I'm like, yeah,
For
look,
you, it's boring.
yes, for me. There's a horse, there's a squirrel. I can see those in real life. I can't see this blue giant frog that craps out a diamond when you shoot it with an arrow. Like, I want to take pictures of these things. I've never seen these things before, and I'll never see them in real life. That's why, like, I'm not really into like historical movies. I'll watch them. It's fine. Like, I won't poo-poo it, but like, I'd rather something fantasy, fantastical, something. Show me something that I can't do or see in real life. Like, I want to take me somewhere I can't go, baby.
Well, you don't. I mean, you don't want to go anywhere anyway. But I get
Virtually.
it. I get it.
Yes. Well, I don't know if I could go like to an outer space futuristic planet with the crazy city. I'd probably be hyped to go to that. Yeah.
You'd go to outer space
if I could go somewhere. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't want to just like go sit up there.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Oh wow.
Well, okay. How about this? I am, and it's like this in every game, so it's not special for Tears of the Kingdom. But like when I'm down in the depths and I see like a Zonite black stone, I've got to stop everything I'm doing and smash that thing. I'm mining Zonite like crazy.
I do the same thing,
and that's why I've got so many batteries. Now, I wouldn't think of you as like a big time Zonite miner. I'm sure you come across them and you do them, but like
if I see rocks that are close, I'll do them. If I see something like sparkle, maybe really far off in distance, I won't go over there. But every one I see, I will break. Yeah.
All right. So you've been doing all that stuff.
I just cashed in like 400 whatever last night. So yeah, I will do it. Yes. If I see it, I will not. And it's within reason. I will not pass it up. I'll go break it.
Yeah.
Bomb it, chop it, something to it, crash into it. Yeah, I'll do it all. Every wooden box, every metal box, I'll pick them up and break them. Yeah.
Nice. All right.
Man, I did something great with the Korok last night where it's on the way top of a mountain. It's like, I need my friend. And they were on Eventide Island all the way across the water. And I just took that sucker and whipped him into the water. I just threw him over the ledge and I was like, I'll meet you out there in a boat. So great. It was so great.
Wait,
he bounced down the mountain and then like
threw him like
hit his face and rolled out into the ocean. And like I went and made my little raft and picked him up and stuck him face down on the raft and drove him out there. So good. Loved it. I couldn't resist. The guy's like on the top of a cliff and he's like, my friend's across there. So I was
He's
like, all
asking
right,
for it.
I'll see you down there.
Yeah, I was just on Eventide Island yesterday.
I love that they don't make the guys disappear. You know what I mean? Like, because like
Yes.
in any other game, if you did that, they'd be like, well, you have to start over now. Like they're just like, he's down there. You'll find him.
I've only had one disappear when they were like up in the sky and I missed what I was doing and they fell all the way down to Hyrule and then they reappeared for me.
Yeah.
But Eventide Island is a lot of fun in this one too. I almost missed the shrine that's there because I was like, there's got to be an easier way to zip here.
You got to find the hideout.
Yeah, I found the hideout and I'm still almost missed where the shrine was.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Because I killed all the enemies in there and I was like, I did a great job and went back right away to tell the guy I cleared up all the stuff on the island.
Yeah, I did that.
And then I was like, there's got to be a quicker way to get here. They're not going to make you just drive out here every time.
You would need to. Yeah.
So I searched again. By the way, that mini game up top, that's a banger. Ride the wing bird to fly into the circles on the water.
I did that like 10 times trying to get it right, and I was like frustrated. And I did it, and once I did it like 10 more times just because it was fun. Like I don't know why I was frustrated. It was just because. I guess because the stakes were there, but like after that, they're like, you can keep riding, and I was like, let me do it, and it was a lot of fun.
What's your your best one?
Oh, I got right in the middle there, right?
Your number?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head. Like
I got a
7.
I got a 0.8. A 0.8.
That's really good.
I got it last night because I went back to do it again because I liked it and I needed some quick rupees, and that's 100 rupees a pop.
Yeah.
Well, it's 300 if you get within one, I guess, because I got 300 rupees. But I was like,
Nice.
0.8. Not getting any better than that. I was like, if I'm in a tight squeeze for money, I'll come back, but I'm out of here.
I made it into the center circle, but I was nowhere near close enough to get 300 rupees. That's
The
really
guy up
impressive.
top actually told me, he's like, I think we got all the data we need, which was the first time he said it to me. But he was like, but if you want to go again, and I was like, I do, but not this time. Not
yeah,
this
you're
time.
not gonna get.
I don't
better
want to
than
go
that.
0.8 and like lose that high.
You can't.
I want to go do the snow bowling too, because I know you can make money doing that. And I know where it is, but I didn't do it yet. So
I don't know anything about that.
yeah, it's a big snowball that you roll down a hill to play bowling with, and you can make some good money for a strike. It's like 250 rupees or something for a strike. I'm a big mover and shaker in the high roll economy.
Yeah, look at you.
Like I said, I got to go buy these heat resistant clothes, I'm sure. So I don't know how pricey they're going to be. The Gorons tore me a new asshole with the price of that stuff.
Oh my god, it's so expensive.
The guy's like, it's a real deal, and the cheapest price is like 700 for one piece, and the other thing's like 1,200.
They're all cracked out on something. I haven't gotten.
I
to
didn't
the bottom.
buy the mask because I'm like, it's too expensive. I'll be back when I got the rupees, but I'm not rushing for it now. I got enough. I was like, Jesus, man.
Now I haven't tried. Can with only 2 parts of that outfit, can you go into like flame areas?
I don't know. I'm gonna find out. If I can't, then I got to make a lot more money. So I'm gonna be bowling a lot. So
I'm a big cooker. I know you don't like to cook, but
I know you can cook
everything
and
then I
sell it for big money, right? What's a big money meal?
I mean, I'll put like 5 prime ribs together, and it'll be like a $315 meat skewer.
Wow.
But it's
But
got to be like good meat. It
The
can't
prime
be
stuff.
Yeah, it can't be like the
Yeah.
regular raw meat.
I'll be like, here's 5 chili peppers. What do I get? Here's 5.
It can't be like the
Here's 5
Squirrel
monster
meat.
guts. Just eat it. It's food.
I mean, I'm sure there's other things you could like other recipes to look up, but the one I don't really look any up. I just found that if I cook a lot of meat, and I get a lot of meat because of my amiibo that I'm your amiibo that I'm using, so I have a lot of meat. So
a meat bow.
And we're not going to get a better quote to end the show on than that. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Play some games. Rest, relax, hang out with family. You deserve it. I hope you're enjoying your time in Hyrule. We will see you next week with details on whatever this mystery package is. So until then, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. The